And we are live. Hey everybody, this is Roberto. Hope you create something awesome today. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about how to become a full-time content creator. I'm going to give you a complete business strategy, more or less a business plan for full-time content creation. Our goal is to hit $10,000 a month as a content creator. You will not be able to do this overnight. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. We are going to be covering some of my presentation from Vid Summit in this stream that I gave, which was a major conference. If you guys did not know, it covers a lot of things here in the creator economy, and it's actually usually very expensive to attend. So while you're not going to see my full presentation, we are going to go over a lot of the same things that I gave in that presentation. I'm also going to be sharing some of the back end of my YouTube channel with you. So you're going to see actual stats and revenue. In fact, we're going to go ahead and do that here real quick. And so you should be able to see the lifetime earnings for the channel here on the screen. Hang on, I've got to fix a little something in my back end here. Okay, yeah, Rumble's not working, so we're just going to remove it as a destination. So that's fine. We'll just upload it there later. But yeah, really appreciate all of you being on the stream today. We're going to be covering quite a bit of this in elaborate detail. Like I said, we are going to also be covering my full-time creator blueprint. I gave this at VidCon and Vid Summit. We're probably going to end up using some of the Vid Summit slides, but for now, I'll use the VidCon slides because there's a lot of this that overlaps. But the main idea comes from this slide, and then we'll get into the stuff around brand deals and UGC specifically because we have another slide dedicated to that. But the goal here is really to diversify your income well beyond your AdSense revenue. Now, I publicly share my AdSense revenue and my RPMs. I don't really keep that a secret. I've been one of the first creators as far back as I think 2015 to start showing my ad revenue, back when we thought that would get our self removed from the YouTube Partner Program. And then I checked the terms of service, realized that that was a myth that I could debunk, checked with Team YouTube and got permission. And so I started sharing my AdSense revenue very publicly back in as early as 2015, and then definitely became known for that in 2016. So I was definitely one of the first to publicly share, here's how much I make on AdSense, no BS, on the actual channel that you watch me on. And some sparkling water there. My throat is still a little rough from all the public speaking and coaching that I've done. I spoke at Vid Summit this year, as many of you know. I spoke at VidCon right before that. I believe I had a private event that I had to do a workshop for right in between those. And now I've still got Adobe Max to speak at this year, and I've got FinCon here in good old Atlanta, right here in my backyard, to be speaking at this year. So definitely a lot on my plate there. But it's also one of the ways you can monetize is to do events. So we will cover that. We will cover a lot of your. Real quick, I do want to shout out our sponsors who help make this all possible. And so we actually have this current cycle of sponsors is our friends at oneof10.com, who have the best modern tool for ideation to help you with your content strategy. I've actually been using them for quite a bit. You guys have seen me cover them on the channel before we were working together and sponsored. So they're going to be our sponsor for the next couple of months. Hopefully we continue that forever, I would hope. And so they're doing great. Also, shout out to our friends over at Opus Clip, the best repurposing tool. You'll want to check out the new Clip Anything tool. It's actually really powerful. I've been actually playing with that. I might be able to show you guys some of what that is capable of later on in the stream after we cover most of what we want to with monetization, because it does matter for additional revenue streams in terms of repurposing to other platforms. We actually have a strategy for that. We also have a strategy for you podcasters for making a clip show and monetizing that. So we definitely have that. Shout out to our friends over at Kajabi, who I use to build my online membership, Awesome Creator Academy. Awesome Creator Academy's membership for the pro group brings in $6,000 a month of recurring revenue, which is significantly more than I make on Adsense. So that's another thing we're going to bring up here in the channel, is how you can make money off platform, because what we want to do is we want to build a diversified income portfolio. Most of you are only doing merchandise, platform revenue, including doing your memberships on YouTube. I love YouTube. We even have a new membership tier for people for, I believe, $1.99 for people for $1.99, and that is all you need to do to be a member. And we have some member perks, so don't worry about that. And then on top of that, we have the membership with YouTube, but then I have my private membership off platform. The thing with YouTube, and I'll tell you guys a strategy for memberships here in a second that is working for a lot of my clients. But the thing with YouTube is YouTube does end up taking 30% of your membership revenue. The reason I use Kajabi is you have to imagine that if I was making $6,000 a month with YouTube channel memberships, YouTube would be taking 30% of that. And so that means out of that 6,000, I'd be making 4,500. Still great money, but why give up $1,500 a month for no good reason when I could have my own website, do everything, and have access to the email list that goes along with that membership? So that's one of the things that was important to me, is you want to own your own data, own your customer relationship. You don't have that with these platforms. And that's not just YouTube. That's YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, all of them. I think Twitter is the only one that lets members potentially opt into giving you their email. But, again, Twitter is not necessarily great for memberships. It's better than nothing. And if you just have people who want to support you over there, so be it. But the reason that I definitely love the relationship with Kajabi, I've been using them for 6 years. But again, it's part of this off-platform strategy of we want on-platform money like AdSense, Super Chats, maybe even channel members, but we want off-platform stuff as well, where we sell and own our own product outside of YouTube and make and keep all that money. We want recurring memberships outside of that, where we make all of our money. We definitely want all of that. Then on top of that, we don't just want brand deals based on our reach on our YouTube channel. What if we have a bad month? What if we have a bad quarter? What if we have a bad year? You don't want your reach to be the only way you want money. You make money. That's why we want UGC, user-generated content. We want UGC partnerships besides YouTube. Now, funny story. I actually just closed a couple of UGC partnerships very recently. And those were a couple of $1,000s each, just on the UGC side, not requiring me to necessarily for each of those post to my platforms. So that was actually really powerful. One of them was a very, very easy ask. And while I couldn't negotiated more for it, it was a long-term relationship that I've had with a brand. So it literally took me, I don't know, maybe an hour to fulfill the ask that they wanted. It took me an hour to fulfill the ask, and they paid me $1,000 for an hour of work to fulfill that ask. And that was content that doesn't have to go on my platform. It was UGC. So that was really great. I had another thing came through. It was a $2,000 ask, not something that's going to take more than 3 to 4 hours of fulfillment to turn that around. Fantastic payout for the effort. And all of that is based on reputation. It does not matter what my YouTube views are going to be in the next month. It does not decide that outcome whatsoever. Those are individual projects that are going to take a few hours to fulfill, that get to be priced at a couple $1,000s. These opportunities are out there, do exist. If you're a smaller content creator, and I did a video about this that you can watch, I'll try to make sure that I link it in the description for you, but there is a video that you can watch on this channel that's a more recent video right now that is about sponsorship, brand deals, and I talk about UGC. If you're a smaller content creator, what you want to do with UGC is you're going to find marketplaces. Maybe it's IZEA, maybe it's some of these other marketplaces. There's opportunities for you to do UGC as a smaller content creator with good production value, good audio. I know a lot of people are like, hey, you can do everything on your phone. And yeah, you can, but you can charge more when you have good production values, good lights, good audio, good cameras. You can charge more money for that with UGC. You can build a portfolio around that, and maybe you make on something that is an hour to 2 hours for you to turn around. Maybe you make $200. Maybe you make $300 to $500. Sounds like small money, but if you load these up every week, you can become a full-time content creator on UGC content just off of doing that without necessarily having a large audience. It's about having a better portfolio and having that high quality production. When I was getting started as a YouTuber, we didn't call it UGC back then. I was a freelancer doing UGC content before we called it UGC content. User-generated content for brands on their social media, where you don't post to your social media, you post to the brand's social media. Let's say you were doing something as a video that is a how-to or testimonial for Adobe Express, or for the Adobe podcasting tool, or for Photoshop or anything like that. It would get posted to Adobe's accounts wherever they want to use it. You'd be giving them a license, and they'd be paying you for the production that you do. They'd be paying you for your testimonial and story, licensing to your footage and to your B-roll and those assets, and the ability to use your name, image, and likeness for promotion. So, that's the thing. That's the thing that I would say ends up being really interesting, because in that scenario, the views that you have on your YouTube or your Instagram or your TikTok don't play a role in how much you charge. Too many of you are doing brand deals that are based on CPM rates. I understand why you're doing that. I understand some agencies or brands pressure you to do that. I turn all of those offers down, and I always renegotiate. Do not be afraid to renegotiate. At some point, what I will probably do is I'll probably either invite our channel members or members from the Awesome Creator Academy Pro group, or both, to do role-playing sessions on the channel, so I can show you guys kind of what we do behind the scenes, and do a live role-playing session on negotiating brand deals and UGC offers. Because I think a lot of you do not understand the art of negotiating your deals and counter offers and counter punching. We were able in Awesome Creator Academy in the Pro group to help a creator counter punch and counter offer to be able to land a $10,000 brand deal instead of a $5,000 brand deal. And then someone else I was able actually outside the pro group with one-on-one conversation. I believe it was Reezy Resells. It was my friend Mike from Reezy Resells. Even him, what was going to be a $5,000 deal that they came to him with, counter offer, counter punch, negotiate, offer more value, $10,000 deal instead. So the thing is, you do not have to take the first offer that a brand throws out. It is important to understand that you can counter offer, counter punch. Also, as a small creator starting out, if you do good on one-off brand deals, you can do a follow-up strategy. Most of you do not have a follow-up strategy. You do not have a follow-up protocol for your relationships. You need to go back to good relationships where you've worked with brands and come back to them in 30 days and come back to them every quarter, every 90 days, because they have budget every 30 to 90 days and they have projects every 30 to 90 days. You need to be following up with them to try to get more opportunities. If you follow up with them to try to get more opportunities, there might be something in the pipeline that you're a perfect fit for, and you don't ask, you don't get. Okay? Closed mouths don't get fed. Squeaky wheel gets the grease. So what you want to do is you want to be making sure that you have more offers. And if you're a smaller creator, put together a package where you can offer enough, multiple videos and possibly multiple platform experiences, possibly licensing them content, possibly giving them some stuff that they can use for 6 to 12 months or in perpetuity, offering some UGC, put together packages that you can price for $1,500 a month or more, usually $1,500 a month packages and $2,500 a month packages. Now, something a lot of creators don't do that I actually do is a lot of creators will not show you their media kit publicly. Mine is public because as much as I love making money in brand deals and as much as it's a competitive disadvantage for you to see exactly what I have in mind, and I actually have an updated version of this because my numbers are bigger now. But there's just here is my partnership packages. Now, again, you don't see what's in them in terms of what the custom offer is. The brands do, the brands see it, but silver and bronze packages. I'm in the final stages of talks with a company that owns 2 other brands. They own 2 brands. One of the brands is coming in for a 3 months bronze package. One of the brands is coming in for a 6 month silver package. If this goes well, then for the last quarter of the year, then that I'm getting both of those packages in the pipeline. So that would be, a very substantial amount of money, as you can see here on the screen, if I close a bronze and silver package. This allows me to do price anchoring and negotiation, and I can custom tailor these packages with the deliverables that the brand wants for that amount of money. And then for some one-off projects, again, I have another offer down here that works. So this is how we do it. This is how we do it. We use packages in order to use a strategy where we do value-based pricing instead of CPM agreements, instead of worrying about views, instead of that, it's all deliverables. We operate from an agency standpoint. Now, if you remember, I used to work at an ad agency once upon a time. I worked at an ad agency for a bit over a year, about a year and a half. I worked for an ad agency. I also worked in sales and marketing at a company, at a tech company doing web hosting and servers and co-location, okay, data center services. So ultimately, when I did that, I had to do media buying. I had to do ad buying and media buying and placement. And yes, we could do that on different bases, but not everything was a CPM basis. It's a value-based pricing model. In some cases, it's also deliverables. It's also based on deliverables. So based on the deliverables and assets, we would go ahead and do that in packages. Some of those would include radio. So the thing is, it's not like there's a CPM basis for radio. Same thing for billboards. There's not a CPM basis for billboards. So there's pricing that exists outside of CPMs, all of you. YouTube gets you used to the idea of pricing yourself on CPMs because that's how you get your YouTube paycheck. But value-based pricing is something different. And if you've ever been a freelancer, you shouldn't be charging hourly rates. You should be listening to me and Chris Doe, value-based pricing. So the thing is, determining value and determining deliverables, it's a negotiation. You can set a la carte pricing per deliverable or for a discount on a bundle or on other conditions. Some of it is exclusivity. That's a pricing lever you can move as exclusivity. Licensing. How long is the licensing duration for them to be able to use the content, and offering them licensing? A lot of you don't offer licensing, and that would change the budget. The budget changes right there. Some of you don't just ask for more money in a budget. I've asked for as much as a 30% increase in a budget before and gotten it. I've had other creators apply the same thing in their negotiations. You just have to understand where leverage exists, and if it doesn't, create it. And if you get told no when it comes to brand deals, ask them what it would take to get a yes at that price. Ask what you have to bring to the table, what deliverables they would need or what numbers they would need to give you the price that you're asking for. And then you say, okay, you'll hear from me again. I'll come back with that and more. Let me come back to you when I have that and more, and we can work together. That way, you're not having a door closed in your face. You just have to understand how to negotiate. I know a lot of you don't have that capacity yet. Many of you, you've never negotiated a salary. A lot of you, you've done jobs where you've worked retail, you'd work food services, you've never negotiated a salary in your life. First time you got a white collar job, you wanted to get the job, you took what the offer sheet said, you didn't bother to haggle, you were afraid to lose the opportunity, you wanted to get out of a thing that didn't pay you as well, you wanted to get out of a thing you hate. So the thing is, as a content creator, I want you to stop using those money trauma habits to inform your decision making about your own value, about your own pricing. You can make over $10,000 a month as a content creator. The big key to making $10,000 a month as a content creator is you're not going to look at it like a 9-to-5 job where you're trying to make all of that in one go. You're going to source from multiple income streams in your income portfolio, and you're going to properly diversify. And as far as I'm concerned, that at least, at a minimum, has 4 pillars that look something like this. So you can have your platform revenue like the YouTube Partner Program, but I recommend you also make money from other platforms where you can. YouTube Partner Program, probably going to be the most significant for a lot of you, unless you're a partner on Twitch or unless you're in the TikTok Creativity Program doing short form content. And the thing is, you can, if you have the capacity and the bandwidth, double dip and triple dip on those. I take no issue with that, and it's a reasonable enough thing to do. So that's fine. You could be doing Twitch streaming. There is some of that makes sense for short form platform content that can be repurposed to TikTok or even to YouTube Shorts. Obviously, if you do Twitch reaction content, you can post clips of that to YouTube and farm that both for long form and for clipped shorter form like Asmongold. I recommend you use Opus Clip, our sponsor linked in the description, to accomplish that if that was your pipeline of saying Twitch is your top of funnel and that you want to use that for YouTube and for short form like TikTok. Take zero issue with that. That's platform revenue, though. For making money with sponsorships, I recommend that you have 2 things in place. Sponsorships on your platforms, usually long-term relationships so you can have monthly recurring revenue that can replace the stability of a salary by having 6 to 12-month contracts and at a minimum 3-month contracts. The example being the packages that I use. Now, again, you're not necessarily using my leverage if you're not a thought leader. If you're an entertainer, a lot of it goes more to reach. I am a thought leader, so I use reputation as my leverage. If you're an entertainer, you're probably going to use reach. In both cases, you do need a good reputation. However, with UGC content, representing the audience, representation, relatability to the audience is a qualifier. Me, I'm not so great representation for beauty products, not so great representation for lifestyle products. I'm going to be in the tech category, though. I'm going to be in the software category, though. That makes sense. I'm going to be in the entrepreneurship category. I could even justify to a degree with all the business travel I do being in the travel category. If I were going to do a work with Delta about their business class or their credit card, it would make sense. Same for Capital One, same for Marriott because of the business side. Makes total sense there. So there are things you can do. You got to figure out what category you represent very well and where your relatability would be, because reputation and the representation will screen you out for the opportunities. Doesn't matter how good your reach is. If you either are not the representation they need in terms of you represent the customer, so you have to be the customer avatar, or you have a bad reputation and you're difficult to work with, those things disqualify you. Doesn't matter how big your reach is. The other thing you can do is you can prove ROI. You can prove sales. For me, one of the things that's in my media kit is I do have a case study in my media kit that talks about the partnership with TubeBuddy and a lot of the results that we produced in that case study. And so this is a software as a service case study, which means that people who sell a monthly subscription can say and look at the pricing of TubeBuddy's subscription, look at the results I produced over the duration of our relationship, look at the clicks, the installs, the lifetime purchases, the revenue generated, and they can see value there in a long-term relationship with me because I'm bringing proof to the table. So what I bring to the table is, hey, I bring a great reputation that I've earned. I show that I can deliver on ROI. And in many cases, I'm the right representation for the brand because I represent the customer avatar. So those things matter a lot more than my reach, because I can bring those to the table as my leverage. If I was an entertainer, I might have to not only have a great reputation in terms of being easy to work with, but I also would have to bring reach to the table. And if I'm lacking in that, I absolutely have to prove ROI. As an entertainer, reach is going to be the big variable for a lot of you who do that type of content. But the thing you can also bring is some form of social proof with regard to your reputation. So as an entertainer, I would start striving to build real world social proof. Maybe if you're an entertainer, especially if you do storytelling or spectacle content, go out and do something that gets you a real world accomplishment like a Guinness World Record. Like Uncle Roger just broke a Guinness World Record for getting 380 something people to dress like him. He broke a Guinness World Record. That's real world social proof and status. When you get a world record like that, that really helps add value to your brand. My friend Pat Flynn has broken 2 world records or 3 world records for his event Card Party in the Pokemon community. So being able to do things like that, break world records, that's social proof and status if you can manage to pull it off. If you can, there's other ways to achieve social proof and status, but some type of award or some type of major achievement or accomplishment goes a long way. Getting a larger subscriber count in YouTube goes to social proof and status and screens you for opportunities. It's very valuable to be able to do that, which could be more than just your reach on platforms. It could be authority in that regard. The other type of way that you might bring authority, you can be an entertainer that still has a real world credential. A good example of this is Jamie, the lead attorney. He does entertainment content, but he also has his reputation and credibility as a lawyer that brings something to the table. Same thing for Emily D. Baker in terms of pop culture content revolving around the law and celebrity scandals, divorces, and lawsuits. Another aspect of this that a lot of people take for granted that's actually really good, that could work for a lot of you, could be if you looked into, for example, Dr. Chris Rayner. Dr. Chris Rayner, he does entertainment content, but he's a doctor and a surgeon who has used his social proof and status to make reaction content that ends up being a lot different than anyone else's because of the added level and layer of credibility that he's able to bring to the table with the credential of being a doctor. So his reaction content can't be duplicated as easily, and he has more status. Even though he's doing entertainment content, it still matters that he has that authority and he has that leverage because it makes him stand out. It makes him hard to duplicate. So something to keep in mind when it comes to how you make $10,000 a month as a content creator, beyond all the negotiating tactics that I just talked about, all the ways that you accumulate leverage and you separate your brand, there's other things you have to do and other things you have to look for. Don't want my throat to dry out there. Excuse me. So something we teach very strictly in Awesome Creator Academy in the pro group, which I highly encourage some of you to join, is we teach the Ikigai framework because this helps you find your purpose and your focus as a content creator. It also helps you find something I call market fit. So in terms of your market fit through Ikigai, the thing that a lot of creators do is they get very passionate about something and they fail to monetize it properly. Or they get really passionate about something and they don't figure out whether there's a big enough audience for it. Or they get really passionate about something and it turns out they are bad at it. They suck. They're god awful at it, which is why they can't deliver any value even if the market is big enough, and they can't make any money off of it. So the thing is, we have to balance these things properly. It does no good to be passionate about something and then be bad at it. In most cases, there are a few where you can get away with that. But you have to have the skill to deliver quality content to an audience. And that audience has to be big enough and they have to be passionate about the same thing as you. So the thing is, you have to take something you're passionate about, and then you have to verify that you're good at it. So the thing is, what should your niche be in content? What should you do on YouTube? What videos should you make? Yes, videos about a subject you are passionate about, but only if you are good at that thing and knowledgeable about that thing and have the skills to make good content around the thing that you're passionate about. Representing that passion poorly isn't going to do you or anyone else any favors. It's not going to be helpful. So that is the key here. Now, okay, if you're not necessarily good or great at something, you have to show the journey of becoming good or great at it, because that's at least something, but you have to have the skills to show that story and to tell that story well. That is extremely important here. So yes, you can share lived experiences. You can go on a journey of becoming. You can document instead of create. But you actually have to be bloody good at documenting, storytelling, and presenting that. If you're not, don't bother. Now, again, when I say don't bother, I'm being somewhat facetious. You can try, and you can improve. No one's good at this overnight. I wasn't. But what I will tell you is, if you know that that's where you are, expect nothing. Expect nothing. Do not have expectations. Do not get your hopes up against views. Your goal is to improve and to try, and then to know that one day when you're done practicing, it will be worthwhile for an audience if they show up. You have to accept that if you are learning. If you're learning, you have to accept that you do not deserve a cheering section for your practice, okay? You don't get a cheering squad for practice. You get it at the main event. You get it when you show up to the arena. That's how it is. You might wish it was otherwise, but that's how it is, and it's perfectly fair. It's okay, all right? Now, you also, if you're going to be passionate about something, you need to be realistic about how much money it makes. You want to make $10,000 a month as a content creator? I'm going to tell you right now, you want to do that in YouTube gaming, you're going to struggle bus. You're going to struggle bus if you want to do that in YouTube gaming. It's not that it's impossible, it's that it's really freaking hard if you're not a pro gamer. The way that I'll tell you very quickly after this how to do it as a gamer, just so I never have to visit this issue again, because I hate repeating myself on this. And the truth is 99.9% of people who want to do gaming content should do it as a hobby. It is one of the least profitable niches in YouTube unless you are very, very passionate about long-form Minecraft, long-form Roblox, or long-form GTA or sports-related games. If that's not what you're passionate about or good at, and you're not a pro gamer in some capacity, $10,000 a month off of gaming content is not very realistic. I'm going to just be straight up about that, because I don't sell snake oil. I don't sell pipe dreams and everything like that. I borderline on being so realistic as to be close to a dream killer. But I'm going to tell you the truth, so you can't say anybody lied to you and sold you a pipe dream or a scam. I'm going to tell you the truth, and it's going to be bloody brutal, and it's going to be bloody hard. So the thing is, we have to have skills that create a gap between us and our competitors, as well as a gap between us and our viewers. It's very difficult to watch content where you feel you could do just as good a job as that creator and replace them. So we have to have a skill gap between us and the viewer and our competitors. We also have to make sure that our audience and us are aligned on being passionate about the same things. And we have to know where the value lies in monetization. And that typically is who are the sponsors? Who's already sponsoring content in this niche? Let's hunt them down. Let's go ahead and find everyone. Instead of skipping sponsorships and videos that people are doing, we need to go to our spreadsheet and write them down and go, okay, that's what people sponsor. That's who sponsors my niche. That's a brand that's backing creators. Okay, I'm going to study that. That's how, all right. And that's what they accepted and that's what they paid for. Okay, that's my standards. So you need to start studying sponsored content instead of skipping it. That's important. Also, sometimes you got to log out of YouTube Premium. You want to watch the ads that are playing on YouTubers' channels and you want to write them down. This is something that creators need to do more of. You need to log out. You need to stop skipping ads. You need to watch them. The reason you need to watch them is you need to be writing down which advertisers are advertising on what videos, what content, and what channel. Keshna Donia says, is there going to be a replay for this? Yes, I leave the replays of all the live streams up so that all of you can watch them eventually on the Roberto Blake highlights channel, Roberto Blake Speaks. We're going to be clipping 5 and 10 minute clips of these live streams to make some of it easier for you guys to digest. And then we'll upload those eventually. Hopefully we'll upload those daily 1 to 3 times a day until we get that channel up and monetized. Once that's more up and running consistently, I'll be plugging it in this channel so that you guys can go over there, subscribe for the highlights, watch the replays of the highlights, get us another monetized channel on YouTube, and it'll be easier for you guys to digest beyond waiting for me to get to the timestamps in these live streams. Also taking volunteers for anyone who wants to help out with timestamps, by the way. So Gloria Williams says, why watch the ads? The reason you want to watch the ads is you want to write them down because you want a list of advertisers and you want to write down, here's the ad, here is the channel, and here is the niche. And the reason you want to do that is you want to know what advertisers are sponsoring content, and you want to know what advertisers play on certain channels. That way you can start to research and get an understanding of what are the most lucrative niches in YouTube, what are the advertisers, what is the market, and what are the opportunities. This is going to be your foundation of research, so all of you can stop screaming, well, I don't know how to reach out to sponsors. I don't know which sponsors will even work with YouTubers in my niche. It's that you'll know if you watch the ads and if you watch the sponsored videos, you'll know what your market is, what the value is a market, and you can do some research and you can start to figure out, okay, how these brands choose their influencers, what content are they approving of, let's figure out what this niche pays, and you'll start to have an understanding of where the money is made in YouTube, and that will help you dramatically. So I would pay attention to that. I understand regular viewers skipping ads and sponsor reads. YouTube creators have no business doing it because you want to understand, and again, I run ads on all my stuff, but here's the thing. If you have YouTube Premium, you don't see them. And every content creator should probably have YouTube Premium. It makes sense. However, for research purposes, you want to watch advertisements for research purposes. You want to know who is putting money into the pockets of creators. If you understand who is putting money into the pockets of creators, you can understand monetization better. If you understand that, you know who to reach out to when you want to make money. Is this starting to make sense to a lot of you? Because I feel like this is not something people talk about openly in the industry, and how to find the money. A lot of you don't know where the money is because you're treating this whole thing just like you would if you were a viewer instead of thinking like a creator. A lot of you are still thinking more like a viewer, which is okay when it comes to content ideation and creativity to some degree. When you come to the money part, you need to start thinking like a business, and you need to start thinking like a creator, and you need to research your competitors. You need to know who is sponsoring all of the top competitors in your niche. You need to know who's paying for those sponsorships, who's paying for those ads, who's paying for the collaborations. Do they have an affiliate program? You need to know these things, because that is where you're missing out on money, and you can't always rely on your competitors to throw you a bone and tell you how they're making their money. And so this is important. This is very important. Now, some of my own income streams. You guys have seen me display my YouTube partnership revenue multiple times before. We talk about sponsorships. You've seen the packages I charge for that. Digital product sales are another component where you can make money and opportunities, especially if you're a thought leader. You can do digital products. Membership websites. huge opportunity with membership websites that's being overlooked by a lot of you in terms of having a private membership website. For those of you who are thought leaders, I use Kajabi. This is the monthly recurring revenue. This is the monthly recurring revenue. This is how much this is a month for my own membership platform, Awesome Creator Academy. This is what I make with the Awesome Creator Academy Pro Group. Most people will not show you the back end of their sales. That's the back end of the Awesome Creator Academy Pro Group. So it's about $6,000 a month for memberships that I don't have to split with YouTube. I don't give YouTube 30% of that. Here is coaching. I don't have a $500 course yet, but here's coaching. Last 30 days, we've done about 8.5. So 8.5 grand last 30 days. Lifetime, we're heading up to 700,000 without selling $500 courses. Where do I make most of the money? Most of the money is made in coaching calls. Last year, show by year, show by week. So most of the money is made in the membership and one-on-one coaching calls. We do some $99 digital products and that's responsible for about, maybe right now, we don't push it aggressively, maybe about 10, 15K a year. So again, most of this is a combination of memberships and one-on-one coaching calls, strategy sessions with creators, helping them negotiate their brand deals, build their content strategy, build their personal brand, sort out their operations and hiring. So for their team building and outsourcing, that's a lot of what I end up doing. So even helping them build out their monetization and business plans. So that's how I do off-platform revenue without relying on YouTube only, So having multiple ways to make money certainly helps. So I do well with the YouTube Partner Program. If we go back up to peak views, if I start posting 2 to 3 times a week again, we end up tripling the views. I go from making about 2,500 a month to making closer to 6,000 to 8,000 a month on ad revenue if we go that way. That's what happens. If I go back to doing weekly channel reviews, which we might be doing with 1 of 10, we might do those at least once a month, if not twice a month. If we do that, then we probably add another $1,000 or more a month to the revenue from YouTube after YouTube takes its 30%. I like the off-platform revenue because that's $100,000 in Kajabi revenue a year that YouTube doesn't take 30% of, where I keep all of it. And my cost for Kajabi by comparison is relatively low. So for Kajabi, my cost is going to be, I don't know, like 3% of all the money I make or something like that, 3-4% of all the money I make, maybe less. So there's that. You have affiliate marketing links. If I count the affiliate marketing, my Kajabi is free. So affiliate links, massively helpful. For me, with affiliate links between Kajabi, TubeBuddy, 1 of 10, all the things that I use, Opus Clip, I probably do about $5,000 to $6,000 a month on affiliate links. At my peak, in my prime, it was closer to $7,000 to $8,000 a month from affiliate links. In my prime, it was edging up to being 10,000. Then the pandemic happened and a lot of people canceled subscriptions. So that didn't help. Like I said, I make a lot from coaching calls and from workshops. For me, also, Amazon does okay with sales on my books. I do better on books than merchandise. Does Kajabi take a fee or just subscription cost? Kajabi is just another paid subscription. They don't take a percentage of your YouTube channel. If all you did was a private membership where all you did was host content or do live calls as a group or something like that, the cheapest plan for Kajabi is $69 a month, and you could just use it for your membership. If you were making $5,000 a month, you'd be paying the $69 a month and you'd be keeping the rest of the $5,000. That's how it is. So that's Kajabi for you, which is linked in the description, of course. So I'm hoping that a lot more of this is making sense with the diversification side. This is a slide I did that breaks down the numbers for every way to make $1,000. So if you, for example, did a deal where you gave a brand 3 or 4 pieces of UGC content and you charged them $1,000 for it, there you go. One offer, one deal, $1,000. If you had a $500 course, you need 2 course sales, $1,000. $100 digital download, 10 sales, $1,000. You have a $50 digital download. Of course, you need 20 sales, $1,000. If you sell a hoodie, with the margins on that, I think that if you sell a $40 hoodie, given the margins, you have to sell 40 of the $40 hoodie to make $1,000. And that's using the margins on Spreadshop, Teespring, Fourth Wall, who I use. That's about what it would take given your profit margin if you do decent merchandise. For $20 merchandise, you're going to need about 80 sales to make $1,000 on average. If you sell a $15 book on Amazon, after Amazon takes its cut, and this is for a print on-demand book with Amazon KDP, you're going to need about 150 sales to make your $1,000 there. If you have a $10 digital download, you obviously need 100 sales. A $7 print-on-demand product, you need 350 sales. And if you do a $5 commission for Audible bounties using the Amazon Influencer Program, you're going to need 200 of those free signups for bounties to get $1,000. So that's the breakdown of how much effort making $1,000 is. Obviously, if you do YouTube, it's going to vary based on your niche. If you're in gaming, we all know that if you're in gaming, a lot of you, to make your first $1,000, if you're in gaming, if it's not super long form gaming, y'all are probably going to have to get 500,000 to 1 million views to break $1,000 in gaming. We all know it. The exception is long form Minecraft and long form Roblox, where you can chock that thing full of ads. Okay, so we all know it. But if you were in a niche like entrepreneurship, drop shipping, personal finance, real estate, you can get 100,000 views and make $1,000 easily. You get probably 50,000 views and make $1,000 easily. So not all niches are equal. Not all views are equal, obviously. This is just a framework here on community. Talked about sponsorships, and we talked more about UGC. So at UGC, there's multiple things with sponsorships in UGC that you can do. You do long-term ambassadorships that might have a combination of sponsored content on your platform, as well as brand ambassadorship where you do UGC on their platform. And you might also even include advocating for them in person at events on top of that, and some co-branding opportunities. So that's kind of the relationship that I have with a lot of my sponsors, including Kajabi, 1 of 10, and Opus Clip. And because I also do affiliate, I get commissions on sales as well. So I'm allowed to use my affiliate link while also promoting them, and then I get commissions on those sales. So that increases the revenue even more for me. Thing is, you also, in many cases, they will allow you, not always, but in some cases, they'll allow you to still monetize and run ads on your sponsored content. So you still make money from the ad revenue. And then there are opportunities where, again, licensing them content for their platforms and renewing that license, or allowing them to use your face and your testimonial. Renewing that opportunity every 6 to 12 months can still get you money from the licensing. So that's another opportunity. Urban Avocado says, have you considered making courses for Coursera? No, I use Kajabi. I'm happy with Kajabi. I've already branded my website, awesomecreatoracademy.com. So I'm happy with Kajabi. At most, we might do something with YouTube courses, but I'll probably start with YouTube free courses. Maybe we'll take the companion course for my book, which we have for free, which we're kind of expanding to a general ed course. We're making a general ed course for creators that we believe is going to compete with the education that colleges are going to try to offer in the Creator Academy. Our Creator Foundations course at awesomecreatoracademy.com is free, and we believe that's going to be competitive with basically whatever it is that the university is offering as we expand on that course. So again, it's completely free, and it's a companion course to my book. In fact, I'm going to link to that for free. Get our free course. So we have a free course at Awesome Creator Academy. It's still developing in the sense that we have, I believe, 10 videos in the course right now that I think are very good for answering your basic questions. Eventually, the goal, though, is for that to be, also we offer a 90-minute masterclass that comes from a private event that I did that talks about creator monetization, talks about brand deals. So you get a 90-minute class there. So basically, you get 2 hours of material in that free course. Our goal is that it eventually be about 3 to 4 hours of material. There's some stuff we're working on. It could end up being longer because I might include some unedited lectures that I have elsewhere that the Academy students would normally get. We might include some of these long form lectures in there, so it could easily become very longer. I wanted to include my lecture on the 5 C's of clickbait psychology. I wanted to include my lecture on topic, title, thumbnail, and title for packaging and ideation. And I wanted to include my lecture on being a value first creator. And these are about 30-minute to an hour long lectures. So that the Academy members get access to. So I wanted to include that in this course, but then there's going to be a bunch of other videos. A lot of the videos are concise, and they're anywhere from 3 minutes to 18 minutes, depending on the video. So again, we've linked to the free course there. And just kind of give you an idea, I'll screen share real quick. So yeah, we have the free companion course, Creator Foundations, that goes with my book. We also include a summary of the chapters of my book and the key takeaways from it. These are the main questions that you'll get answers to in the free course: how to find your niche, getting clarity on your brand, where to find inspiration, how to come up with content ideas, how to choose your platforms, how to create content with a full-time job, best practices, and quite a bit more. So for new creators or even small creators, this is ideal, and it's incredibly helpful if you want to stop being frustrated and start growing your audience. Obviously, I've been doing this for a very long time. And again, we answer some questions here about it. So like I said, it's free. We linked that in the chat here in terms of that free course offer. So make sure you're checking that out. Again, I mean, you ain't got much to lose. It's completely free, right? So, that's something. And we do want to compete with the colleges. One of the reasons I'm going to get into paid courses is the colleges are going to try to teach creators about the creator economy. I don't mind collaborating with them and doing lectures at the colleges. That's fine. I'm not going to drag them too hard. Few digital marketing professors will do this, and they'll do a credible job. But the truth is, they've never been a full-time content creator. They've never had to hire and do payroll in the creator economy. They've never gotten a silver play button with YouTube. They've not done it. They haven't grown to 100K in at least 2 platforms. So those are things that I think become very important to talk to from experience. If you're going to talk to creators, they don't know what it's like to deal with the burnout of being a content creator, the mental health issues, the online criticism, how to deal with hate mobs and cancel culture. They only have the theory of those things, not the practice of those things, certainly not a decade or more of practice of those things. So if they're going to teach courses on it, I feel completely justified in finally putting out courses on it versus just doing one-on-one coaching and the free trainings that we offer and so on and so forth, and doing the conference circuit. And again, before they ever write a textbook, I already wrote a book on the subject with 2 more in the process for the trilogy. So I'm not just trying to toot my own horn here. I'm actually making a point for those of you who are knowledge-based creators, those of you who are thought leaders, is eventually you'll want to commodify your own knowledge, because there will be a lot of people who are teaching it on theory versus practice, and you might as well be the one monetizing it instead of them. For those of you who are influencers and entertainers, you're probably not going to be able to go as heavily into the digital product space like me. You're going to have to go into the physical product space, which is going to be books, CDs, DVDs, co-branded products. Peter McKinnon did a great job with co-branded products, affiliates with the Amazon influencer program, the YouTube shopping tagged affiliate program, and print on demand products and merchandise. This is basically, if you're an entertainer, where you're going to live is going to be a lot of these physical product offerings. For some of you, digital wouldn't be impossible, but your audience just really isn't going to be into it as much as they would physical products from you. So that's going to be something that you're going to want to branch out to. I do think that aside from the affiliate marketing and co-branded product side, that this one is harder to make significant money with. Now, for a lot of you with the Amazon influencer program, if you use everything the Amazon influencer offers, and that includes their creator hub for posting product review videos directly to Amazon, you can make substantial money. But you will have to make dozens to hundreds of videos to make thousands of dollars, depending on what the pricing is on the commissions for the products in your niche. Now, me, I'm in tech, electronics, and camera gear. My commissions for that sort of thing would be significantly higher than a lot of other categories. Example, if I sell a Sony camera lens, it's going to be a $50 to $90 commission. So take that with a grain of salt. Most of you, $5 is the sweet spot for a commission from Amazon per individual sale if you're lucky. However, if you made 100 product review videos in Amazon, not just on a YouTube channel, but in Amazon, and you have those videos at $5 commissions, that could be significant every single month and earn very well for you, because it's very unlikely that you wouldn't make at least a couple sales on each of those videos. Once it's 100 videos, $5 a pop, you can do math. That's how you start making thousands of dollars. If you combine that with your YouTube channel or with something like TikTok, or you also use your YouTube community tab, then that can be substantial when it comes to the Amazon influencer program and affiliates. There are other affiliate programs out there. Some of them pay higher commissions. YouTube shopping affiliate is also very lucrative. So highly recommend that opportunity for you as well. Just depends on what your niche is and whether you're suited to that. For those of you in things like beauty, it makes perfect sense. Beauty and tech, that's the big sweet spot. For digital products, that's for those of you who are thought leaders. Those are you who are thought leaders. You're doing podcasting. You've written books. You do education-based content. You do career development content. You do things in that category. Courses and info products, strong for you. Ebooks and audiobooks, very powerful. For those of you who are doing ASMR, there might be a music streaming opportunity for you as well. There's also a version where you could do your own membership or platform where you do ad-free versions of your content. There's also the ability to do templates and assets like Notion templates, graphic design templates, planners, low info books, again, content planners, calendars, that sort of thing. Journals. Journals are very big in a lot of niches, especially if you design them very well. So yes, plenty of opportunities there on the digital product front. But remember, I'm separating. Here's what you do if you're a thought leader, more digital products. Yes, you can do both. But if you're an influencer who's doing entertainment content, physical products is something your audience will invest more in. There'll be resistance if you're an influencer, entertainer. Digital products is going to be a hard sell for your audience. Physical products is going to be what they buy, generally speaking. So for print on demand, t-shirts, hats, hoodies, but also sticker packs, that sort of thing. Very practical for you to approach with regard to that. Earlier, I said I would give you kind of a breakdown of how to approach the business model for a gaming channel. I'm going to keep that promise. I'm going to tell you what you do if you're a gaming channel. So if you're a gaming channel, in general, you do need to optimize around the views on your YouTube channel. But you also probably need to strongly embrace live streaming on a 2 to 3 times weekly basis or more, and really capitalize on fan funding through donations as a live streamer. And then you probably need to make a separate YouTube channel for your VODs versus edited content, and then post the VODs from your live streams. And you can multi-stream to YouTube and you can multi-stream to YouTube and Twitch. I do not agree with Ludwig about not multi-streaming. I don't agree with him and the big streamers on that. Their thesis around that is how to become the biggest streamer in your category on the platform. I know realistically, 99.9% of you, never going to happen anyway, even if you did only stream to one platform. So what's the point of worrying about it? If you get big enough to where that becomes a thing, go all in on one platform. If you're not becoming big enough and you know that you're probably not going to do that and be the number one in your category, you might as well multi-stream and get views where you can get them and get money where you can get it. That's the truth. So that's why I disagree with Ludwig. I don't think he really disagrees with this point. I think that, again, those big creators' stance on everything is becoming the biggest creator possible, make the best content possible. That's their whole shtick. For who they are, makes total sense. But the rest of us mere mortals, we already know that we probably don't have the social proof, the status, not charismatic enough, not attractive enough for that to even be in play. We know that we're going to be at best a mid-tier player. So if we know that we're going to be a B-lister, we might as well take every opportunity we can and just accept that that's the reality. So if you know you're not an A-lister, I won't bother listening to that advice. Like, I would just go and be mid-tier and call it a day. And people like, oh, who wants to be mid? Well, mid is you making 6 figures. These cats are making 7 figures, but you don't need to do that. So you'll live a perfectly good life making $150,000 a year doing something you like, So I would say that's probably par for the course for enough of us. So why not? That being said, the strategy that I'm giving for gamers here would be that, yes, you can make edited YouTube videos and you can live stream on the same channel that you make the edited YouTube videos, and you can post shorts to that channel as well. And if you have a video game that makes sense for it, you can do the vertical streaming. Okay. So that's fine. You can be a multi-format creator. This is working for people like Juicy J, who I've coached with. He's a Clash Royale player. If you guys check out his stuff, I've talked about him before on the channel. He's not the only one. There are several people that this is working out successfully for. Another Clash Royale player that I've coached is Solar Fury. He's a Atlanta creator as well. So this works. You can also see in other niches like Jamie, lead attorney. He does live streaming and edited videos on his platform. I don't believe he's doing YouTube shorts, but he could. And that would work out just fine. So you can be a multi-platform creator in gaming on YouTube, and it makes sense. You can be multi-format, but you can also be multi-platform. If short form is working for your gaming content in YouTube, repurpose it to Instagram and Facebook for monetization. Repurpose it to Snapchat for monetization. I recently coached a bunch of Supercell gamers about putting their TikToks on YouTube Shorts and on Snapchat and making more money. So you have multiple opportunities to double dip. A lot of you don't realize Snapchat is still paying creators. Snapchat's still relevant. Snapchat is back. It's on par with TikTok now, even among teenagers in the US. TikTok and Snapchat are right here, and both are losing to YouTube badly. So that's something that's right there for you. Another opportunity to monetize on the same content. Oh my God, being in all the places at once is so much effort. No, it's not. You repurpose the content, you put it where they want to watch. Oh my God, I'm stealing views away from my YouTube channel everywhere, every time I do that. You can post the videos to YouTube first, but take that same effort you worked on and post it to the other platforms, because when they are watching there, you're not stealing a view from YouTube because they're not on YouTube in the first place when they're there. So go ahead and put that content there. You're not stealing from YouTube. Stop being loyal to a platform, be loyal to an audience, and go ahead and post where they are and meet them where they are. So meet the audience where they are and monetize where they are. That's simple. Meet them where they are and monetize. So when you take your short form, as a gamer, you take your short form, you post it on YouTube Shorts, you post it on TikTok, you post it on Snapchat, you post it on Meta when it comes to Instagram and Facebook. You just go ahead and you build that up. This also diversifies your platforms, which means when you go to a brand for sponsorship, you have more than one platform, which means even if you feel like you're fatiguing your audience on YouTube, just take a sponsorship and put it on a different platform instead of YouTube and sell that to the brand if you're growing your other platforms. So that makes the most sense in the long term. That makes the most sense. Post to YouTube first, then post to the other platforms. It is that simple. So go ahead and repurpose the content and make your money. Secure the bag. Now, the other thing is, like I said, you can build up sponsorships to where, hey, they might sponsor you across all of your platforms as a package, or they might say, hey, you got to follow in this other platform. Hey, we can do another campaign with you next month, but just for TikTok or just for Instagram. And so then you can use your other platforms to offer more, and you can take more brand deals. So that's going to actually extend your monetization capabilities even as a gamer. And so this tends to work. And like I said, I've seen this work for a lot of Supercell creators that play Clash Royale, Brawl Stars, Squad Busters, Heyday. This works. I've coached. I have a coaching deal that I've done for the last 2 years with Supercell and another company. We've been working together. I've coached, I think, 80 of their creators, something like that, 70 or 80 of their creators. A lot of them coached to silver play buttons. So the other thing you can do in gaming is, depending on what game you're playing, if you are a ranked player or you're a pro player, there's other opportunities with regard to potential tournaments where you can win money, clearly, but there's also hosting duties. If you get into the esports world, just like I'm a public speaker, you can be a host and a commentator for esports, the same way that I'm a public speaker. So that would give you another opportunity to make money. You get paid for hosting duties. You get paid to do commentary and stuff like that in esports. You can also work for an esports org or be on a team. So then the thing is, you can do coaching within esports if you are credible enough to do that. Or you can work for an esports organization on the back end side of either doing promotional or what have you, because you understand the audience. So you can then become a promoter. You can become a promoter, a commentator, a host. You can also be involved in the tournament scene in terms of organizing and events. So there's a lot of opportunity, and you can take a salary doing that. So now you have a stable floor to where that becomes a quote unquote regular job, but it's in the gaming space. So the thing is, you can get a job in the industry, especially on the esports side, cover your basic needs, and then all your content creation money is either something you can invest in long-term assets to build wealth, pour back into your channel to build a business, or whatever you want to do. So that would be something that makes practical sense. On the other side, like I said, streaming, fan donations, building that up, getting that revenue. If you are streaming multiple times a week, that is a possibility where you can make hundreds of dollars every time you stream with another set of donations. So that's an opportunity as well. Plus you get the ad revenue from YouTube. So I would multi-stream to Twitch and YouTube. The ads are better on that. The VODs are better on YouTube. And so then you can make money. I take the clips, I put them on another channel, not the same channel. I take a clips channel just for the VODs from the gameplay side, monetize that, You have another monetized YouTube channel, more opportunities, more money in the bank. By the way, I would stream whenever you need to farm footage for your edited videos as a gamer. If you need to farm footage for your edited videos as a gamer, you might as well stream it and talk to your audience, since you have to farm the footage and record gameplay anyway. You have to play the game. You have to get that recording. You might as well stream it and monetize it, because otherwise you're working for free when you're farming your footage. So as a gamer, that's what you're going to want to do. So then beyond that, there's an affiliate marketing angle to gaming. Some games have in-game stores and in-game shops. Use a creator code for the game. Use your gamer code. And when people do the in-game purchases or the microtransactions, you get a commission, you get a cut of that. Same thing as the Amazon Influencer Program. By the way, for gaming setups and gaming accessories, you'd be the Amazon Influencer Program. You could post those links in your Instagram stories and make money when people click on those links in your Instagram stories, and you can make money off of that. You can make money as long as you disclose it. Just put like hashtag affiliate or whatever in there and make sure you're disclosing it. You can put that in your YouTube community tab. You can put your best list, your best buys. You could put together your gaming setup, your PC rig, and you could have that in the affiliate description of your video. You could have a video that you want to do that is just your gaming setup, and you can either make that a video you publish and say, hey, here's my gamer setup, here's the gamer's paradise, blah, 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 here's everything to do the gaming like me. It may not get a bunch of views on your channel. If you're worried about it, make it an unlisted video, but use it to point people to, so that they can use that video as a buyer's guide, and they can use the affiliate links in the description, and you can get the money from Amazon for that. So that's an opportunity. Off platform, you're a gamer, review every product you have associated with your gaming and your gameplay, your computer screen, your gaming laptop, your controllers, whatever. Review those things on Amazon in the Amazon Influencer Creator Hub. That way, if people watch your video review before they buy, you get a commission on Amazon for that. You're making money even without your YouTube channel as a gamer covering gaming hardware on Amazon. So that's another way that you're making money as a gamer. Merchandise. A lot of you can't do good merchandise because you can't use the intellectual property of the game. Make shirts for the gaming culture instead. If I was doing a gaming channel, my merch wouldn't be my logo. My merch wouldn't be my face. Not really. My merch wouldn't be something from the game. My thing would be all about gaming culture. So I'd be making graffiti shirts that said LEET on it for the OG gamers. I'd be making shirts that have the in graffiti or drip text, salty runbacks, because everybody knows about that salty runbacks. I'd have something like, if I wanted to do something with a graphical character on it, it's like I would have something that says Gamer Bros, and the characters would be, if it was going to have my face on it, it would be a caricature of my face with me with a corded controller choking out my friend because he beat me in the game. And that would be the thing. And everybody would know, yep, I know that feeling. And that would be how it is. So I would do my merch based on gaming culture and memes rather than on the IP of the game, so I don't get sued or copyrighted. So that's how you would approach merch, is you go culture instead of the IP. So that would be that aspect of the monetization. As for the ad revenue, compilations let you put more ads in. VODs, where you do gameplay VODs, if they're long enough, let you put multiple ads in. The replays of the live streams that you played, that you leave up on the channel, you leave your live streams up when you're farming your footage, you go back, you manually insert ads into those about every 5 or 10 minutes or so. Boom, that's monetization on the gaming side for the live stream VODs, because you had to farm the footage anyway to not work for free. So you had to do that. Plus, you got all the super chats that might have come in from that. You multi-stream that while you're farming to Twitch, YouTube, probably Kick, and that's that. If you do vertical live streaming, you're doing YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok at that point. So secure the bag on that. And that's where I'd live stream multiple times a week because you have to farm the footage anyway. So that's the thing that you would do regardless of what game you're playing. My business model for a gaming channel makes absolute sense. When it comes to sponsors where, oh, there's another game that wants me to promote, consider doing UGC for them and bundling that instead of just promoting. Yeah, you do promo on your channel. Yes, it's going to tank compared to your other videos. It doesn't matter how big you are. I've watched big creators with 1 million subscribers, people like Sir Tag and people like that. When Sandy, I've watched people with like 1 million subscribers plug a game that is not the game their audience is playing, and they have 1 million subscribers and they'll get 10, 20,000 views if they're lucky for plugging a game that is not the main game that they play. So that has an issue. If you're small and you're at something like 13K subs, you're not supposed to be sitting there at 13K subs trying to make $10,000 a month. You're not supposed to be trying to be a full-time creator at 13,000 subs. So, this is a stream to watch more for later or to get inspiration. But there's other streams or other videos even for you to watch on the channel that are about growing. Because respectfully, if you have 13,000 subs, you can't have the expectation that there's any business model on God's green earth that 13,000 subs makes you $10,000 a month if you're not a real estate agent or if you're not in stocks or crypto or something like that, that would be high yield. There's no reason that 13,000 you'd make $10,000 a month. It doesn't make any sense. The exception to that would be if you're in some high yield industry to where it'd be that you're getting clients from that, or massive commissions, or something of that nature. So that's not for you. That's not who this stream is for. This stream is to set people up for how to approach the business model and to build to that point and to do that. The only other thing you can do if you're a small creator to make the kind of money we're talking about is UGC, because with UGC, you don't need to be popular. With UGC, you need good production value. With UGC, you need good production value. With UGC, you would need to be someone who represents a niche. And I can tell you that in theory, it can work if someone's going to go that route and if they're the right representation. And I haven't released this podcast episode yet. But I'll tell you this story. I'll tell you a story that comes up in the podcast. I interviewed a creator who got a $5,000 plus brand deal with a sneaker company when she had less than 5,000 subscribers. And when she had less than 10,000 subscribers, she was able to get into a Hulu documentary. And she wasn't an industry plant and she wasn't connected, but she was a standout in her niche because she was the only high quality, high production value creator in her niche, as small as she was. And she was one of the only females in her niche. So she was in the sneakerhead niche, sneaker collection niche, high production value. Talking about came out the gate swinging with a Sony camera as a small creator and brought big creator energy from the very beginning. And it's my friend Marissa. It's my friend Marissa from Shade TV. So without even 10,000 subscribers, she got into a Hulu documentary. You know why? Because she was the only female sneakerhead they could find when they were looking for more footage that had production value and shot in 4K. But y'all are going to sit there and tell me, shoot everything on a phone. Production value doesn't matter. Tech doesn't matter. Gear doesn't matter. She got into a Hulu doc because she was the only one that had the approved stats in terms of the production format and the high quality format to get into the doc. And she was at less than 10,000 subscribers. So she got into the Hulu doc. She was able, with less than 5,000 subscribers, to get a brand deal with a sneaker company because she was smart and polite in a clubhouse room back in the day during the pandemic. So just 2 years ago. I think it was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago in Clubhouse. And she had the quality content on her channel. And so with the production value and then the standout representation of, oh, you're different. And hey, we're looking for that. And we need to reach another vertical in the market. And so she was able, as a result, to do that. So here's the thing. Yeah, you actually can do it respectfully with just 13K subs if your business model was right, and if your market is right, and if you're doing the things you need to do stand out, and if your portfolio and body of work is there, and if you're doing the networking things you need to be doing to build a connection and reputation. Reputation and networking relationships beats reach. You realize how many creators have 10 times my subscriber count, 10 times my views every single month, every single upload, and don't have my network, don't have the contacts that I have, don't have the people on speed dial that I have that hit me up in my DMs to get to my contacts? There are people with millions of subscribers that literally hit me up just to get access to my network. Won't publicly comment on a video, won't ask how my day was going, but will definitely hit me up for my network. That happens. So there's a value to doing the things you need to do and not sitting there and woe is me, I'm a small creator. Not saying you're doing this, Kevin, but I'm using an example here. A lot of you get yourselves down about being a small creator when all you really need to do is have some big creator energy and actually be about it. Get that big creator energy going and say, I'm a small creator and I'm going to go and get a big network, and I'm going to do the things to get a good network by creating value, being thoughtful, being polite, being invested in people, being genuinely interested, and bringing everything I can to the table. And if I don't bring enough to the table, the answer to big creator energy is this. If someone makes it very obvious, very politely, that you don't bring enough to the table, ask them what you need to bring to the table. Now you set your sights on that goal and you tell them, you'll be hearing from me again. I'll be back when I bring that and more. Is there anything I can do for you right now? At all? Just say the word. It's like, but when you need me to bring enough to the table, I'll bring enough and more. Just tell me what enough is. People love that. People love that when you say, hey, I know I don't bring enough to the table right now, but what does enough look like? What is something that's an absolute yes for you? I'm going to be back with that and more. Just tell me what it is. People be shocked that you had that amount of thoughtfulness and that you were forward enough and bold enough, and they'll tell you exactly what they're looking for, exactly what they would say yes to, and now you have a goal. Now there's no more vague, nebulous thing. Now you know what the filter for rejection is, and now you know how to pass the filter. Do not be afraid to ask what people's green flags and red flags are, and then say, I'll be back with all the green flags you can handle. Big creator energy. Go out, be a small creator, get some big creator energy, go build your network. Big creator energy. Don't use a small creator as an excuse to not have big production value and not invest in your craft and not be a consummate craftsperson to where they say, oh my God, you deserve more subscribers. I'm watching people bigger than you that put in less effort. That's what you do. You're a 13K sub creator? Cool. Go outwork every 100K creator in your niche. Go embarrass them. Go make it look like, why is it they have 100K and are doing less work than you, doing less quality than you, doing less consistently like you? Go out as a 13,000 subscriber creator, Kevin, and go and beat the bricks off of every 100K creator and embarrass them and make them step up to you. Very simple. Very simple. Big creator energy makes all the difference. Sang Talks Money has a question. Hey, Roberto, how much do you charge for consulting? So if you go to awesomecreatoracademy.com and then you click on the tab that says coaching, you'll see all of my information there and what I offer in terms of those coaching packages. And we can go ahead and we can talk from there. Would love to talk to you, Sang. Win Bush says, got my first sponsored deal at 8K subscribers, but like Roberto said, I was standing out in my niche, making every video as professional looking as possible. It goes a long way, y'all. The key to brand deals is the levels of production, professionalism, personality, and standing out in your niche and having representation for a market that they want to reach, a customer base. So aligning yourself to the customer is the answer to sponsorship and brand deals. It's not all about reach. Reputation and representation matter more. Reputation, go out and do the networking. Go out and be someone who connects with the people who can make these deals happen and make these decisions happen. And stop being so scared that because you're small, thinking they're going to turn their nose up at you. Be a professional. Be a nice person. Be thoughtful. Be articulate. Be polite. I promise you it's more impressive than views. I promise you being a nice person and being professional is much more important to someone who's a decision maker than how much reach you freaking have right now. Because the thing is, at least you can have that relationship for when the reach comes. The salon guy. Hey, what's up, man? Appreciate you. Hey, Roberto, creator with 1.2 million subscribers. My views have just died. No idea how I'm growing subs, but my views have been horrible. Thankfully, my channel feeds into my product line organically. So, salon guy, we can check out some of the things going on with your channel. Here's the good news. Your back catalog still gets views. Your back catalog still brings in subscribers as a result of those views, and it still generates leads for your channel. When you say your views have died, what you're probably experiencing, and I'm just guessing here, is you probably had a spike to some degree during the pandemic, and everybody is actually dealing with a little bit of culture shock right now from the fact that they're not getting pandemic level views anymore. However, your most popular videos of all time, if I'm not mistaken, were a lot to do with specific celebrity hairstyles. And you looks like you did get a lot of your peak views during the pandemic 3 to 4 years ago was a lot of your peak views. Also, some of your older content from, I think, when you were featured by Jaron Polin, Frono's Photo. So here's the thing. A lot of your peak views, over 1 million views, were, aside from being super old content, were content from the pandemic. And some of it was basic hair care stuff and how to fix certain problems with hair. And then a lot of it also was some of the popular trends in hair at the time, or certain celebrities that people were trying to emulate. You were very smart 4 years ago with even tapping into some anime hairstyles for a popular series. You typed into Levi Ackerman from Attack on Titan, for example. So the thing is, right now, currently, in terms of your videos, when I'm looking at, let's say the last dozen or so videos, the Brendan Fraser is making a comeback, but he's not what he used to be. There's a lot of how-to stuff here, but that's all going to be slow burn content in terms of that. I don't see anything in your last 12 videos that is tapping into a major trend at all. In fact, every video in the last 12 videos you uploaded is something that a beginner in your niche could make. There's nothing in the last 12 videos that only the salon guy could make. In the last 12 videos before that, same thing. Any beginning hair care YouTuber could make these videos. You need to do something that goes well beyond that. And there's nothing in the last 24 videos that taps into a trend or into pop culture. So if I go to another 12 videos after that, Tom Cruise is not popping right now. If anything, he's being on the way to being canceled, actually. Brad Pitt being canceled right now. So Kurt Cobain, nobody who's not an elder millennial or Gen X knows who Kurt Cobain is anymore. Gen Z has no clue who Kurt Cobain is. So sorry, not popular enough. There's nothing there for in the last 36 videos that taps into current trends, pop culture, current levels of virality, or is unique enough that something can do. Miguel from Cobra Kai has a niche, very beloved audience, but not really mainstream enough, believe it or not. So now we're into the last 48 videos. And again, so we're almost 50 videos deep, and I don't see anything that a new hairstylist couldn't make just as well right off rip. Not seeing it, and nothing that taps into trends in pop culture. So I would say that the things that put you on were things that were unique, especially unique within their time, and that tapped very much into trends and pop culture that were current. They also had time to cook. Though some of these videos, they're not dead forever, my friend. They will get views at some point, accumulative over time. So that's the good news. Going another 12 deep. So now I'm about 64 videos in. And again, 64 videos in, and not seeing anything that is super pop culture. The only thing here that breaks out is a video from 5 months ago, biggest haircut trend of 2024. And I would say that opened a curiosity loop, but it's the only thing in 4 months that broke 100,000 views. And that one, again, a basic thumbnail. And again, basic thumbnails have worked for you in the past, but that's the thing. You have a how to grow your hair out video from 4 months ago. That one got 400K views. And what this tells me is because there are videos in between the 100K and 400K that flopped before and after. You're not in a death spiral because, oh my God, I put out videos and they flopped and now I'm in a death spiral. The death spiral doesn't exist because the flops before that didn't impact why you got a 400K video. You got a 400K video and it's still getting views even now. It's getting 75 views an hour right now. And you've got a 100K video that's getting 10 views per hour right now still. These are your big outliers. And so with that in mind, these videos, in my opinion, these videos are proof that the flops don't stop you from still breaking out, which means you're not shadow banned or something, because if you were, you couldn't get these videos 5 months ago, despite the videos previous to them not doing well. So therein lies, I think, the issue. And so the thing is, what I need to see from you is I need to see videos that only someone at your level and your caliber could make, and to go back to some of your roots and to revisit a lot of those greatest hits. There's some other things I can think of. I think that the thumbnail game can still be stepped up. Basic thumbnails have worked for you in the past, but again, somebody else can come along and steal your thunder. You want an example? Now, again, can't fully compete here because this is a female content creator who is definitely going to be able to appeal to a female demographic, and she's doing more than just hair-related stuff. But again, Glam Girl Gabby, these thumbnails are top-tier thumbnails. Now, again, completely different, but again, I would argue that in many cases, and again, you're not necessarily appealing to the exact same demographic as her, so I'm not telling you to take her thumbnail style. I'm saying that this level of thumbnail quality is very impressive. And the thing is, there's not a big difference in your thumbnails today versus your thumbnails 7 years ago. So, and again, you have succeeded with that, but YouTube is more competitive than ever, and I would act accordingly. Am I guaranteeing that that's going to be the answer for views here? No, but I'll tell you this. These videos are absolutely something that someone's going to want to click on. So maybe do a little bit of research and then figure out how to retrofit some of the concept here for your demographic. But that's just to give you an example. So hopefully that helps, and hopefully that can be an example to everybody else. Zajma asked, what does UGC mean? User-generated content. User-generated content, which means we are posting on the brand's social media instead of our social media. And yeah, Song Talks Money. If you go to awesomecreatoracademy.com, you can see how much I charge for coaching one-on-one. I believe there are links in the description down below for that as well. Yes, when it comes to getting brand deals, again, I think more than worrying about getting big subs, big reach, yeah, those things help and those things matter. But you'd be surprised how far you can go being a good human being. You'd be surprised how far you can go being assertive. Rick Upshaw says, hey, I'm just getting into all this, and this is the first time I've ever seen any of your content. I'm starting almost from scratch. Can you still help? Maybe I'm sure that I'm on the right track. So, Rick, I would say go watch some of the content on my YouTube homepage that specifically speaks to new creators and small YouTubers. I've done some recent videos on how to get started in 2024. I believe that one of them has close to 60,000 views right now, and it's very popular in terms of the strategy for getting started in 2024. And it's a video on my channel, but I also have some live streams that speak to new creators as well. They're in depth, which are the equivalent of a free course that you can get through in a weekend if you use the live stream replays that we do as well. So we do a lot of these live stream replays and workshops and such. So definitely be on the lookout for those. You also can ask questions in live streams. Unless we're doing channel reviews, which we do in exchange for super chats of $20 or more. We're not doing channel reviews right now. We'll probably do one before the end of the month, though. Probably Saturday at this rate. We'll probably do a channel review stream on Saturday right after Nick Nimmin. So, you know, that's something to look at. But we do have a lot of beginner friendly content on this channel, so you can definitely subscribe and check that out. Sang Talks Money says, one more question. Every 3 of my last 3 videos have gone to 1 out of 10. My click-through rate also shows a green up arrow in YouTube Studio, AVD, a green check mark, but views stopped. Is that normal? Depending on the last couple of days, it could be just taking a while for YouTube to match it to viewer intent. And then that could obviously views-wise go back up. I wouldn't worry about it too much. I've had videos flatline for months and then surge. I have a video that was flat for 3 months, 4 months. It's at 180,000 views now. It struggled to get 10,000 views in 90 days, and now it's at 180,000 views. Give it time to cook. Let YouTube cook. Bella Boatcat has a really good idea for At the Salon Guy. So Friends has its 30-year anniversary. Cover all the characters' hairstyles. The Rachel hairstyle. Yeah, so like that actually makes a lot of sense. Covering the hairstyles of every one of the Friends cast, and then probably especially The female characters, absolutely. The Rachel, the Ross, the Chandler, Joey, Phoebe, Monica. Yeah, I named all the friends. Got it. Yeah. So there you go. 6 videos in the can right there. 6 videos in the can. Roberto, thank you so much for all this, bro. Really appreciate it. Yep, absolutely. Joshua Kinnis, Kinkas. I think it's Kinkas. Joshua. So anyway, Joshua says, "Hey Roberto, I work with YMCA Association in Fort Worth. How can a nonprofit organization step into YouTube? We're planning to create separate channel as a resource for parents and children." Okay, so you'd look at the priorities of parents and you'd build a content pillar strategy. So if we were working together and we were doing a coaching call, if we were working together, I would say, okay, let's build 6 content pillars around what parents and children care about. Maybe we come up with 3 content pillars specific to parents and 3 content pillars around kids, but we would say that the kids are going to be young adults. So we're going to go more the teenagers route in terms of content. So the way I would go with parents is I would maybe make a bucket of content that is around affordable family activities that anyone can do. And I would make a lot of them as titles that were very budget conscious in our current economy. A lot of parents are like, how can I do things that are fun and safe with my kids that don't cost a lot of money, that they're going to enjoy, and let's make some memories. So the thing is, anything that could help parents with that is something that they would appreciate and that they'd subscribe for and that they'd watch more content of, because it would help them. Because when you're financially struggling, you can't think of a lot of those things on your own about how to keep your kids safe and entertained and make memories with them, but you don't have a lot of money or any money sometimes. And so what can be done about that? And was something that anyone can do. So that is a way to meet people where they are. So that'd be one of the content pillars. We'd make 6 content pillars. That'd be one of our 3 that focuses on the parents. Another one that focuses on the parents might be things that help them in general just keep their kids safe and healthy. So anything that you can use that helps them keep their kids safe and healthy in the community, online, that's something that parents will pay attention to and that they'll click on and go, oh my God, yes, I want to protect my baby. So that makes sense for parents. Okay. Another one would probably be anything that can help parents to make sure that their kids are making friends. A lot of people struggle with this. A lot of kids struggle with this. So putting something together that's kind of this bridge here that can help kids socialize safely and make friends, and parents can do things that help build and encourage that. That's another content pillar. That's something that parents would care about. That's something that they would watch and that they would think, and that the kids might watch, or they might watch it together. So that would be important. So then something for kids, anything that helps kids themselves to have more activities and ways to make friends and ways to socialize. And again, make sure that's safe. That would be something that kids would watch because they want to do stuff with their friends. Kids don't have a lot of money. Sometimes they can't come up with ideas on their own of how to make friends. A lot of kids still struggle. Hell, adults struggle with this, with loneliness and, oh, I don't have friends. How do I make friends? How do you socialize? How do you do that? So helping them to develop that ability to socialize. They'd watch content about that. I'd probably say anything that can help them with regard to things that they can do on their own in the community or in general that don't cost a lot of money, that would allow them to have fun, because kids are broke. Absolutely. Is going to be thing. And something else that kids will watch is something that, if there's any safe ways for them to make money by doing something in their community, they'll pay attention to that as well. make money as a teenager is one of those popular genres of content that exist on the internet. So that would be how I would develop 6 content pillars specifically if that was my goal with regard to who I was trying to reach was the parents and the kids. It doesn't necessarily speak to the broader how can a nonprofit organization, but like the thesis that I would have for a nonprofit organization is who's the target audience, who's the market here, who's the audience avatar. Okay, cool. In general, this is always my approach. Who's the audience avatar? Let's identify who these people are. Let's look at what they value. Let's look at what's important to them. Let's look at their challenges. Let's look at their desires. Let's look at their concerns. Let's look at all of these things. So who are we dealing with? What do they care about? Why do they care about it? Let's understand our people. If we understand people, then we can sit there and we can build 6 content pillars that will align what they value to what they will view. So we want to create value for our viewers. We only build our content pillars around here are things my viewers would value. Now that we have those pillars, we make individual videos that can speak to those at a topical level. Then we build titles that would psychologically draw those people in and attract them and that they would be attracted to. We build thumbnails that they'd be attracted to and package them correctly. And then we make sure that the content is on time or on trend or evergreen. And so we do that topic, title, thumbnail, timing, all based on our total addressable market, our target audience. So it's that simple. And then from there, we need the content to be quality. Quality is scripting, structure, storytelling, and style, the 4 S's. So we use the 4 T's for our packaging to be able to create value-driven content for our viewers. And then, because we ultimately want retention and watch time and subscribers, we go to the 4 S's: scripts, structure, storytelling, style. There you go. Then in terms of quantity, we make enough of all of this and we release it consistency wise. And our consistency, our quantity is consistency, and that composes of the 4 R's. What are the 4 R's? Reliability, relevancy, recency bias, and I believe relatability. If I remember correctly, those are the 4 R's. So that's the thesis of a lot of what I teach and what I coach around, and then the specifics of how we develop each of those. So we would develop those things. So once we have our 6 content pillars based on our audience avatar, which we identified is, in this case, is the parents and the kids in your community, and say, okay, well, what do they value? So now we have to do the clarity framework. We get clarity around who our audience avatar is. We build our content pillars around them. Then after that, we derive the packaging for each of those content pillars. We do the packaging, topic, title, thumbnail, and timing. And then for the content quality, we have to understand scripting, structure, storytelling, and style, build all of that out. And then in terms of the quantity in our content strategy and understanding what it needs to look like, we want to be reliable. So, okay, what's our release schedule? What's our release cadence? What makes us reliable to those people? What timing and tentpole events make us relevant at the right times? Because we might need to make seasonal content. So how to do this for this season, how to do this for the summer, how to do this. So again, that's where it's the relevancy aspect of it. Okay, so there's the relevancy aspect of our release schedule. And then in terms of recency bias, there are things to where, okay, there are topical things we have to address every season or every year or every time this thing happens, because people are going to preface, well, I want to know the new version, or I want this. So there's recency bias in there. And then in terms of, we have to make sure that in terms of our frequency of all these things, that the relatability aspect of that is there in terms of our consistency of like, hey, are we on message? Are we on brand? Did we release something that when we released it on this time, that it is making sure that it is relatable and reliable and that it's being consistent messaging to the audience? So that would be important. So that's what we would want to focus on. And so that's a lot of what I teach. Let's see. Tiffany Humes asks, how do you start from scratch? We don't have a YouTube channel yet, but we have an idea that is broad range of homesteading. So I actually helped one of my clients go to over 250,000 subscribers in the homesteading niche. I also have another channel that I've coached with that's actually pretty large, that some of you'd probably be familiar with, that does homesteading and prepping, and also a little bit of the frugality stuff as well. So I actually know how to grow those kind of channels. And then two, on top of that, we do have a lot of beginner friendly content on the channel, whether it's the live streams or the edited videos. We also have the free course that you can get. I'm going to link that in the chat again. Get our free course. There's some good material in here that answers some basic questions, and we are going to be expanding that free course. So I just dropped it in the chat for you. And so there is a lot of beginner content on the channel. We actually have done live streams that are beginner content, but there's also videos that help you with beginner step-by-step stuff if you're a new creator or a small creator. So Tiffany, I would definitely reference that content. We have stuff to help you go from 0 to 1,000 subscribers, get monetized, all the things you would need to know to start as a beginner. You don't even need to go with the starter package. When it comes to, you don't need to buy anything to start, Tiffany. If you guys don't even have a YouTube channel, you don't need to buy anything to start. You can just use the free content that we have to begin with. We normally recommend that people use the free materials to at least get their channel up and running, typically get monetized before we ask people to buy anything. Now, with the YouTube starter kit, the reason people could buy that even at the beginning, though, is because the big thing people struggle with is thumbnails. It has over 100 thumbnail templates for Photoshop for 99 bucks. I believe we have a coupon code in the description or something for $20 off. So the only real reason that I feel this YouTube starter kit is something that someone can buy at the very beginning, even though we normally ask people to get monetized first, is because the struggle bus of just making good thumbnails is so competitive right now to where that might be a good idea to get an edge if you know you're not a graphic designer and you're not good at that. But normally what we do is we encourage people to use all of the free materials we have to get started, but we do have a few low-priced items that make sense. So there's the starter kit, there's the starter pack. We have a $9 starter pack. That's something that could help you with getting started in terms of materials, and that one's at least only $9. Same thing for the AI creator prompts. AI creator prompts are only $9. We did those because there are people who do need something to get started from zero, and they need something that's done for them already. And so we found that those assets at least are helpful. So we put those together. Because it's not sometimes enough to have just free information. If it was, everyone would be rich after public school, right? So one of the things we do look at is sometimes you need things done for you at least to 80%, so you can take it the other 20%, 80-20 rule, the Pareto principle. You take it the other 20% to the finish line, and then you have a reasonable result that can do something. And so we found that that is helpful. Then with the Academy Pro group, that's done together. So that's something where you're able to get feedback, you're able to get support, you're able to have a network. And so that can be incredibly helpful. We're able to learn together and from each other, share information, share resources, share the network. So that is something that a lot of people don't realize could be valuable to them until they've actually experienced a community before. So done together can be very powerful for people. Cohorts, usually wildly expensive. That's why we put together a monthly membership. There's things we're trying to do to make that even more potentially accessible to people with something that we offer. But my point is, there's a lot of free material that can help you. Then there's a lot of affordable assets. One of the other things for beginners that we recommend is my book. My book has over 20 chapters that can help you as a content creator. It has an appendix at the back of the book that answers some basic questions very quickly for people, and it's an easy read. It does very well on Amazon. I think we're at 4.6, 4.7 stars, 190 ratings, I think, 70 something reviews. So it does very well. It's been very well received by the community, and I do feel like it's a good beginner-friendly book. That was the intent of it. So what we try to do is, if we're going to ask you to buy anything, we try to make a lot of the entry-level products very affordable and underpriced, and then we over-deliver on them. And a lot of the free content has helped people get to 1 million subscribers, if not 100,000 subscribers, off of even the free content. And then I've literally coached hundreds of creators at this point, and I probably directly one-on-one have coached almost 100 creators to at least silver play buttons and a dozen creators to gold. So one-on-one coaching, group coaching, that sort of thing. So what we try to do is we try to create levels. We try to create levels where you can be met where you are and giving the resources that you need, and that there's always a way to progress. And that's why I think thought leaders and educators should be doing. It's why I'd like to see more of. Oh, thank you for purchasing the book, Tiffany. Really appreciate you. Yeah, you don't want clickbait. You want to do this right. Absolutely. 100%. So we got Just Tornado. Cool name. Roberto, how do you focus on creating meaningful work that matters rather than just content that serves the algorithm? How do you balance that with the audience needs and what the algorithm rewards? I abandoned the algorithm a long time ago. You could argue I abandoned the algorithm in the beginning. I don't focus on the YouTube algorithm. A lot of people are surprised by that. I study the algorithm, but I don't particularly focus on it. I only focus on but I'm also in a very different position than most people because of the nature of how I optimize and the way I make money, because I don't optimize for views. I'd be doing something different. I have a faceless YouTube channel that I'm working on that I'm about to launch with an editor overseas that will optimize for views and to a degree optimize for the algorithm. But I don't really worry about that with the main channel or how I approach education content. Education content, I don't worry about the algorithm at all. For my entertainment clients, we even have skipped past that to viewer psychology. So we don't worry about the algorithm. We worry about viewer psychology, because if we worry about viewer psychology, we'll win on all the algorithmic principles anyway. Because I think that all of you are mistaken about what the YouTube algorithm rewards and what the YouTube algorithm is. Do you want to know, does anyone here want to know what the YouTube algorithm actually wants and what actually rewards? Because I can tell you, I can actually tell you. And the reason I can tell you is because I spend a lot of time talking to people at YouTube, and I spend a lot of time talking to creators. People think, Roberto, if you knew how the algorithm worked, you'd go viral all the time. No, you wouldn't. Even though in the algorithm, you can't go viral all the time, because nobody can go viral without a broad total addressable market, and almost no niche has a broad total addressable market, which is why only 0.063% of all videos on YouTube ever have gotten 1 million views. Knowing the algorithm doesn't make you go viral. Having a large total addressable market gives you the opportunity to go viral. But only 0.063% of all the videos ever uploaded to YouTube have ever gotten 1 million views. 88% of videos uploaded to YouTube have never gotten 1,000 views. The only way to get millions of views is a large total addressable market. Most creators across most categories in English-speaking countries, because remember, your other total addressable market cap is language. Your other total addressable market cap is language. So that's the other barrier. Do you know which videos have the most views in YouTube? Do you know what category of videos? Do you know that the top 10 most viewed videos on YouTube? The top 10 most viewed videos on YouTube all have the same market vertical. Do any of you know what it is in the comments? Does anybody know what category vertical the top 10 most watched YouTube videos of all time are? Someone's going to guess it in the comments or in the chat. Someone's going to get. And we have a winner. Music and music videos. Absolutely. It's music and music videos. It's music and music videos. Absolutely. So the reason that music and music videos has the highest overall views in YouTube is because music and music videos can be consumed an infinite amount of times indefinitely over time. You can consume music and music videos an infinite amount of times over an infinite amount of time. It's the largest content that scales. It's the most scalable content it is, because you could watch the same music video on YouTube or play the same song on YouTube Music 5, 6, 12 times in a single day. And you could do that 100 times in a month and not get tired. And most people can do that, and they can do it in any language as well. Music doesn't inherently have a language barrier either. So it has probably the single largest total addressable market there is. So in terms of the next thing after that, in terms of largest scale total addressable market, it tends to be Minecraft and Roblox videos, because children are a constantly replenishing infinite large total addressable market with the largest monopoly on disposable watch time. Adults cannot consume content in the same quantity as children. So children's content, sing-alongs, nursery rhymes, gaming, and animation content does extraordinarily well on YouTube because it's also evergreen and infinitely consumable for a base with a massive monopoly on disposable watch time to waste. So again, the monopoly on viral content exists in this way. And content creators like Mr. Beast turn themselves into cartoon characters for the same reason, and their content is infinitely consumable, evergreen, over an infinite amount of time as well, because they turn themselves into cartoon characters of a person, and it basically becomes a game show and that sort of thing. So people who turn themselves into cartoon characters essentially in real life also have that infinite scale. That's why they go viral. That's your Mr. Beast, that's your Eric, your Logan Paul, so on and so forth. So when I say I can tell you what the algorithm is, we're not talking about how do you go viral. You cannot go viral without a large total addressable market and near infinite replay value or jumping on a trend. So that's the key to this. It also helps if you have the benefit of scale. And the thing is, the monopoly of content that goes viral is actually majority of content outside of the United States of America, because the 80% of the world doesn't speak English. 80% of the world doesn't speak English. There are only 360 million people in America. The entire English-speaking Western-based market is a fraction of the Indian and Asian-speaking market. Again, music and gaming can penetrate that. Animation can penetrate that. Children's content can penetrate that. You see? So when you take that into consideration and you think about localization, you have a much smaller market cap in terms of your total addressable market for content if you're not in those verticals or you're not an international, with the primary biggest languages being Hindi and Brazilian Portuguese, believe it or not. So with that in mind, Hindi, Brazilian Portuguese, and then you want to go Cantonese and Mandarin. So, and then Spanish. So the thing is, Knowing all of that, I'm saying all of that to start to set your expectations when I tell you how the algorithm works, because knowing the algorithm, like I said, will not help you go viral. That is already predetermined and pre-fated by the total addressable market of your niche and vertical and style of content. It's predetermined what your cap is. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The YouTube algorithm has to win based on time on platform, session time, and watch time. Not just individual watch time on videos, session time of staying on YouTube as a platform to steal time away from every other platform and every other streaming service. Here's why. YouTube's business model is advertising. Where do advertising dollars exist? It exists on the other competing platforms: TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Reddit, all compete for digital advertising market share. Where else does digital advertising programming exist? Streaming services: Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, MSNBC, Fox, all the digital streaming services, which is why YouTube fought to become number one on television sets now. It has to absorb and take market share away from the mainstream media streaming platforms, traditional broadcast advertising, and its digital ad competitors. It can only do that if you are on YouTube.com and the YouTube app more than you are on those other platforms for a longer portion of your day, which I refer to as session times. And then beyond that, we have session ratios for categories, channels, and topics. I hope you're with me so far when I'm explaining this. So what that means is anything that gets people onto YouTube.com is in YouTube's interest. And anything that keeps people on YouTube.com is in YouTube's best interest, because that's what takes the money away from YouTube's competitors and the opportunity and attention away from YouTube's competitors. So what the algorithm has to be optimized for and what the algorithm has to favor, if you think about it, is the algorithm has to be optimized to favor anything that starts people watching YouTube, meaning a destination channel that brings people to YouTube and is the first thing that they watch and click on when they start watching YouTube, has a high signal of favorability. This is why the biggest content creators build cults of personality, where you come to the platform specifically to watch the new Hot Ones video, to watch the new Mr. Beast video, to watch the new Logan Paul podcast, to watch the new Sidemen video. Being a destination channel is what would matter. Being a channel that makes someone start watching YouTube in their app, on their television, or on their desktop, being a destination channel. Then keeping people on YouTube as long as possible, one way or another. So why are podcast and long form live streams that go 3 and 4 hours doing well on YouTube? Why are these dating shows doing well on YouTube? Because they create massive amounts of watch time and session time. And whenever you're watching those things for that amount of time, you are not on another streaming platform. You are not on a competitor, and YouTube is winning. So that's the type of thing the algorithm favors. It's not the only thing. It's that anything that gets people to start a session on YouTube, anything that creates large watch sessions or binge sessions, and anything that gets people to watch multiple videos back to back to back, regardless of length, and keeps people on YouTube is favored, which is why shorts work. Shorts work because they do keep people on YouTube longer. They create these scrolling sessions. They create binge watching behavior. They get people started on YouTube to click into something faster. Something that gets people to click on YouTube fast also is a high signal to the platform. That's why people go out of their way to create clickbait and the psychology of clickbait that favors, okay, I got you now to click on something. I got you to click on something fast. I got you to click on something right away. So those things are all signals of what benefits YouTube. So shorts work and live streams work disproportionately. What else is working? Storytelling content is working. So look at Tyler Oliveira. This is storytelling, cinematic content, IRL content where you don't know what's going to happen next and it draws you in. It could also make you binge watch. News content is the same thing, 24-hour news cycle. So you see that's why news and politics is doing well in YouTube, both on the left and the right and everything in between. It's all doing well. You see why now. I mean, when I say this, does this start to make a lot more sense to all of you? When I take it from here's how YouTube makes their money, here's how the evaluation of where that budget's going to go, it's based on, well, who's winning the eyeballs? Who's winning the eyeballs? Oh, YouTube's winning the eyeballs. More money goes to YouTube. So then what does winning the eyeballs look like? Keeping people in your store and keeping them away from your competitors is always the answer. You win if people stay in your store and are not shopping somewhere else. So taking eyeballs away from the competitor for as long as possible, you only have so much free time in a day. If YouTube monopolizes the majority of that free time, it beats the other platforms. If your channel, out of all the channels someone watches, is responsible for keeping people on YouTube longer than your competitors, you're most likely to win. So does that make sense to you? Is YouTube is optimized for what gets people to come to YouTube, stay on YouTube much, much longer, and to watch more videos on YouTube because then there's more ads that play on YouTube. If you reverse engineer from that, the algorithm is revealed. Get people to watch as much content as possible because of your channel. Get people to be on YouTube as long as possible throughout the week because of your channel. How much time can someone spend in a week watching your channel and wanting to watch your channel? Why do you think the nursery rhyme channels are winning? Think about it. Does it make sense? Now, again, not everyone's content is suited and optimized for that advantage. That's the key. Not everyone's, if you're focused on, you want to make what you're passionate about, you're not necessarily aligned with the incentives of what makes YouTube a profitable company. But if you are, you win. If it just so happens that what you're passionate about doing would also benefit YouTube's objectives, then sure, you'd win. But 99.9% of people aren't even thinking about that. So they wouldn't, and even if they did, they wouldn't know how to do it. They wouldn't know what that would look like for them. And even if they did, they'd burn out. They succeed and burn out, a lot of them, because it wouldn't be emotionally satisfying enough, even with the money. So that's a factor, right? So when I say all of that, do you now kind of understand that YouTube's goal? I mean, I guess there's really only one way for you guys to really understand it because of just how it is. And it's no offense to anybody. I just don't think you're going to get it unless I use this. Because I just don't think it's sinking in as an abstract, which I guess is fine. Not everyone can learn in lecture mode, I suppose. Where's the piece I'm looking for? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Yep, this is what I'm looking for. Okay. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. This is how all of you will actually understand it without abstractions and theory. What does this say? This says watch time from impressions. It's at the bottom of the funnel, which means if something's at the bottom of the funnel, that's the thing that YouTube cares about. So YouTube cares about watch time. Watch time is derived from average view duration and through click-through rate. But click-through rate and average view duration by themselves are meaningless unless they are at the levels where combined they add up to watch time. Because watch time is what matters to YouTube if you want to simplify it. So what does that mean? What does YouTube want? You have to get people to click on videos. Clicking on videos, you cannot rig the algorithm for people to click on videos. You have to make good packaging for people to click on videos by giving the viewer what they value. And how do you demonstrate value? Topic, title, thumbnail, and timing. In real life, if you want to attract people, you have to care about the things that they care about. That is the qualifier. Shared interest is the qualifier for all attraction. For attractions predicated on being in the same place as other people. So that's where we talk about total addressable market. Who all is there? Who all is there? That's the people you can attract. So that's your pool of who you can attract is the total addressable market. Then when you get to that total addressable market, you have to share interest. Topic, if you're not into the same things, you're out. You want to be with the jocks, you got to be a jock. You want to be with cheerleaders, you got to be same thing. Lunch table. What's the lunch table? So you got to care about the same things, got to be able to open your mouth, share the same interest, okay? But you also have to look the part. That's the thumbnails. You don't look attractive, you're out. You're done. Don't care. You're not charming or charismatic enough to overcome your looks maxing. So looks maxing. So good thumbnails. So you got to go to a large enough pool of people, large enough total addressable market. Now you have to know what those people value and give them what they want. You have to look the part, and then you have to lead with something interesting and compelling. You can't just be good looking and dull. You have to be interesting. So interesting title. So it has to be emotionally driven. Emotionally driven. You're not going to logic your way into being more attractive. You're not going to logic your way to being more attractive. You're going to emotion your way into being more attractive. Emotional intelligence. So using emotional intelligence and emotional triggers, primal triggers in your titles. Okay? Most of you don't have the skills, you don't have the IQ to maximize and get clicks off of SEO. It's not that SEO doesn't work, it's that most people don't qualify, and most of you are doing entertainment anyway, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you're an entertainer, you're an influencer, you don't need to worry about SEO because it's an intellectual game and you're not playing it. It's entertainment for you. So therefore, you use emotion. So you go into emotion. You lean into emotion. You hit those triggers, use primal triggers, and then you entice people. And so then you're using the laws of attraction properly. You're using aesthetic and you're using emotion, and you're qualifying these people by aligning yourself to having the same values. So, okay, we went to a large enough pool of people. We made sure we have the same values. We made sure that we know how to attract them aesthetically, and then we know how to entice them emotionally. So you're doing that. That is literally what it takes to get the click. That is the psychology of getting the click. Low-hanging fruit, the 5 C's of clickbait: conflict, controversy, conspiracy, confusion, and what was the other one? Conflict, controversy, conspiracy, confusion, and curiosity. The 5 C's of clickbait psychology. 5 C's of clickbait psychology. I have a whole lecture on this. So then from there, you got, okay, fantastic. You got their attention. You got the view. Now, all you can do is open your mouth and screw it up in the next 8 seconds. just like in real life. Oh, you're so interesting, so attractive. Well, tell me more. Ah, you screwed it up. Got the ick. I'm out. Same thing with your video. Hook. You got 8 seconds for them to decide whether or not they're watching this video or you gave them the ick. So you got to have 8 seconds to entice them and hook them with your strongest punch possible. Good lighting, good audio, good camera production matters. But more importantly, you need to script that hook. You got 8 seconds to keep them on the hook, to keep them on the line, or they're out. That's it. Short attention spans. You got 8 seconds to make the best first impression possible, or they're out. So that's it. But you need to extend that and really draw them in. So that first 8 seconds matters, but you really, really got to handle that first 90 seconds, because once they're more than 90 seconds in, it's a lot harder for them to leave because they're invested. And now they'd have to risk another video and start this process all over again. So if you can clear the 90-second threshold of keeping their attention and keeping them engaged, there's a very high probability that they don't leave, because they'd have to start this process all over again. And who wants to do that? In for a penny, in for a pound. So to get there, you got to pass the killing ground. You got to pass that 90 seconds. But it starts with that first 8. That first 8 is make or break for you. 8 seconds is all you got to make a first impression. You win them or you lose them, all in 8 seconds. That's how ruthless it is. So then, after that, you have to go ahead and keep up the energy throughout the video, get as much of that average view duration that's there right in the middle as possible. If you can get those clicks up enough, you can get that average view duration, you can draw that out. It'll lead to watch time. If it leads to watch time, according to YouTube, right here it says watch time that originated from impressions is in the selected rate range, blah, blah, blah. Total watch time is shown in the graph above. And here's the thing. Impressions. You can increase the chance of YouTube suggesting your content by increasing your click-through rate and your video watch time. So YouTube just told you, we will introduce your content to more people. We will increase your impressions. We will give you more opportunities to reach people if you get your click-through rate and your watch time up. That's it. Get the clicks, keep them watching. Get them to watch a video and keep them watching. The algorithm is that simple. Get them to click a video, get them to keep watching. If you succeed, YouTube will try to broaden the market. If your video does not have broad appeal like we talked about, is not accessible to a large, broad addressable market, more impressions will not necessarily help you, diminishing returns. But if it is something that a lot of people could love, a lot of people can be interested in, it has a broad market appeal, then more impressions will obviously help. That's the deal. Like I told you, most content's fate is decided by who the audience for the content is. So there's only so much you can do. Not everyone's a car guy. Not everyone's a hair guy or gal. It's not an infinite market. Not like music. Not like animation. Not like nursery rhymes. Not like Minecraft. So you have to temper your expectations to some degree, because your market may not be big enough. And you have to figure out whether or not you're happy to passionately serve people you have something in common with, or whether you're just chasing virality to chase virality. So you do have to keep that in mind. But that's how YouTube works in a nutshell. YouTube spells it out for you. You do have to get clicks. You have to keep people watching for as long as possible. Here's the thing about quality versus quantity. A lot of you get it wrong. You start getting some success and then think you have to go for broke when it comes to quality, instead of giving people what they want and making more of it. And you would win. You would win with an army of videos that a bunch of people already said yes to. instead of trying to take these massive swings where you could strike out. You can hit 1,000 singles or doubles, but you want to hit 50 home runs because you think that looks more impressive instead of just putting more points on the board. I just believe in putting more points on the board. It sounds really crappy to a lot of YouTubers and they think, oh, well, you're just saying put out shitty content. Sorry for that language. But like a lot of people think that when I say I don't worry about quality over quantity, especially even for my clients, they think that's what I'm talking about. Look, not everyone's going to be an artist. Not everyone's going to be able to hit home runs every single time. Not everyone's going to be a Mr. Beast. I believe that more people would succeed being PewDiePie than being Mr. Beast by showing up for an audience and a community as many times a day as they can, as much as they can, whether it's every day or a couple of times a week. I believe that showing up for people, taking yes for an answer, taking those at bats, bunting when you need to, hitting some singles and doubles, getting on a base is more important than going on a blaze of glory, swinging for home runs, and sometimes striking out. I think that putting points on the board matters more than anything for most people. And I think more people would succeed rather than fail if they accepted that and said that good enough is good enough sometimes. And that if they got there and they made it sustainable and they made it to where it's not a problem to take a risk once in a while, they'd be okay. And if they can be content with taking a risk once in a while and not living in the shadow of their viral video and always chasing it, they would be more successful over a longer period of time. So that's what I believe. That's what the data has indicated to me after all these years, is that if more people took a long-term approach and a marathon approach to YouTube, people took a marathon runner's approach to YouTube instead of a sprinter's approach to YouTube, then more YouTubers would be successful. That is what I've come to understand. That is what I've come to believe over my time on the platform. RRJJ says, my content takes me a week to create, and then when I release a video, I'm back to making another one. It's very overwhelming. My work includes so much detail, I can't hire out. That's a choice you're making. You're making a choice to make content that has a high level of difficulty because that's what you want to make. And it's not without its consequences. No one told you that you can't introduce a format in between videos that's easier for you to make. I don't think you want to do that. That's a choice. You could certainly make videos if you wanted to that only take you a couple hours to put together so that you could have a buffer in between these videos and be less overwhelmed. You could do that 100%, RRJJ. You absolutely could. I'm just going to call you RJ. You could choose to do that. You don't want to do that because you don't think that those are quality videos. Dapper Dak says, thanks for putting this together. Gaming seems to be a dead end in terms of making it to 10K a month level, and I'm reevaluating my content strategy to reconcile that fact. Here's what I would tell you, Dapper Dak. Gaming has a high capacity to make it to 100,000 subscribers, but even 100,000 subscribers, maybe not even to 5 or 10K a month in revenue. However, if you learn how to build an audience by doing your passion of gaming, you could learn how to make a faceless channel in a profitable niche that may be able to offset the difference so that you can make gaming something you're passionate about and maybe get to 100K or 1 million subscribers, and then have a channel that is faceless that you use your skill at YouTube to make money in a more profitable niche. And so maybe that's something to look into, because then if you even care to, because here's the thing, I'm not even sure if you would make gaming content if you were making 10K a month doing something else. Maybe you would just game and stream for fun and you wouldn't even worry about growth. I'm not sure. Because the thing is, I'm not sure how many people would do gaming content if they were already rich or already successful or already making 30K a month some other way. I'm not sure if people would even game or stream their gaming. They might game, but they would game for fun and they wouldn't worry about content, I don't think. It just depends. And there's some people who would still do it if they were rich and if it was but they would think it's just fun to be a gamer on YouTube and be in that community. So you have to think about it. Grape Tea News says, oh, this is interesting. So Grape Tea News says, I took your advice when it came to maximum results. I'm sacrificing the entirety of 2024 to progress my channel. I've been going live every day for 183 consecutive days. Well, congratulations. That's a big deal. And now at 6 months in, I'm at 10K subs and 1.6 million views. Well, congratulations. That's actually a huge deal, Grape Tea News, and I'm very proud of you. You know, 90% of creators never make it to 10,000, so you're already a successful channel. You beat 90% of all the people who've ever done YouTube ever already just by doing that. 183 days, 6 months, and you got 1.6 million views. Most small creators never do that. So again, congratulations. It's a bigger deal than you think. And again, with those kind of numbers, I think that means you have to be averaging. If you've been live that many days, you've had to average a significant amount of views per stream to get 1 million views from that many pieces of content. So I'd say you would have had to have averaged, you would have had to average something like 8,000 or more, 8,000 to 10,000 views per stream or something like that on average. Something like that. $800 views uploaded in that, over 800 views per upload in that timeline, something like that. Interesting. Thorn Theater Reviews, thank you for the $2 super chat. Always giving knowledge. Appreciate you. Yeah. Thanks. Kia says, question, would a channel with the niche of digital marketing focused on helping the cleaning industry with their digital marketing strategy and implementation be able to reach that goal? Aside from client services for your sales funnel, probably not. It'd probably only benefit your sales funnel. And I don't know how much you're charging for the marketing services. So it could if it hits the funnel. But the thing is, I don't know why it would be that narrow as a YouTube channel. It seems to me that if you were going to go that narrow, you would just make webinars and digital ads and you'd go that route rather than YouTube as far as a sales funnel, rather than trying to do purely organic in YouTube, and that you would go more the lead gen route. If you were going to do YouTube, well, I would use your experience with those or the type of clients you have, but then with YouTube, I would focus on the broader aspects of digital marketing and not narrow it down to, well, here's my customers. Like, so I would, if I was doing that, even if I was doing digital marketing that only was specific to an industry, I would speak to digital marketing as a whole, more of the Gary Vee style thing. And even if our agency only specializes in cleaning companies, I would just use the case studies, but I wouldn't specify that in the content. I'd go broad in the content and then narrow people down on lead magnets and webinars and remarketing. So that's, I don't know why the channel is this narrow just because that's the customer. I would go broad and then narrow from there on that strategy. Because if I was just going to go that narrow and target, I would have done it with ads anyway. Because then I would have a quantifiable reach rather than be frustrated with organic. Colin, aka Ghost Panda, says, hey, Roberto, lots of great stuff here. I'm wondering what your thoughts are on ASMR channels. Do you think that they can be profitable? Oh, they can be wildly profitable if you do them correctly. Kia says, okay, thanks. I thought I need to keep the channel niche down too, but that makes sense. Niche down, but not too narrow. There can be a content pillar that is narrow, but in a way that makes sense still to a broader market. But I would use your expertise and I would go more topical. And I said the same thing to someone who was doing legal content about where the direction they were going, and it made total sense to them. Charnel Vale says, question, I love performing my songs via live stream in the comfort of my home, but it's set up to perform. How many times a week do you encourage to do? In your case, especially if you're going to do original music, only what fits your lifestyle, because again, growth. If your goal was growth, I don't know that original music is the answer, because it rarely works out that way. So I don't know what your goal is, but if you are just passionate, which it seems like you are, because to be a musician, you'd have to be, you can only do it with what works for your lifestyle. But I have a very, very, let's say, cynical view about the capacity and potential of original art and original music on YouTube, unless it uses very specific strategies that most artists just won't want to do because they don't like the compromise on things. And that's not an offense thing to artists. I grew up in traditional arts, and I decided to just keep that for myself because I understood what monetizing it would mean. So my art's for me. And so that's why I don't make a YouTube channel around my paintings and around my photography, because I'm like, nope, I know what monetizing this means. So if that's not something I'm willing to do as an artist, then I'm not going to bother. And I'm not saying you shouldn't bother. I'm saying that if you love making music and you love performing your original songs, do it when you can. And that's where that advice kind of begins and ends, is it has to fit your lifestyle. For people who passion and doing what they care about is the most important thing to them, beyond money, beyond making it sustainable, beyond making it a full-time job, my advice begins and ends with make it a hobby, have fun doing it, and make it fit your lifestyle. And that begins and ends my advice for people who need what they do to be fun, they need to be passionate about it, and they are not willing to make compromises for money. Is my advice begins and ends for those people with make it fit your lifestyle, do it when you can, and make it sustainable and not a chore, and make sure you're enjoying it, and make it and keep it a hobby. Charnel says, I'm a solo extreme metal vocalist who has a debut song coming out this Halloween. I was thinking about performing live on YouTube and IG. Yeah, perform live on YouTube and IG. Do that. Push it as much as you can. See what happens. Consider asking some YouTube music reaction channels if they'll cover it and react to it. BRC says, do you think that educating nurses on how to understand their 401k would be better as a live step-by-step review, or live streams trying to start a channel to assist nurses specifically? If you want to start a channel to assist nurses specifically, I would develop a career channel around it, and I wouldn't only focus on 401k and the finance aspect. You would need to make it more holistic about their career. One of my clients is Vicky and Victoria, and Victoria has the largest channel on medical coding. It's Contempo Coding. She has the largest medical coding YouTube channel, over 100K subscribers. And what you would do is you'd make it, if you want to talk to nurses, you'd make it more holistic than just talking about finance and 401k. If you want to help nurses, you make a holistic channel that affects all aspects of their career, or at least 6 or 7 content pillars that would focus on the main aspects of their career. And if you want to help them with finance, you might have a component of one of your content pillars that becomes a Dave Ramsey style call-in show. Maybe. Thanks, Kia says, would documenting my journey to becoming a digital marketer as a channel be more effective? It would depend on a lot of factors. Most people are not good at that. So if you think that you're good at storytelling, you think that you have the charisma for that, you think that you're comfortable also putting yourself out there as a individual to be consumed instead of just producing information to be consumed, then you could go that route. But you have to be very careful, and you have to ask yourself and be very, very honest with yourself about what your intentions are, what your boundaries are, what lines you're not willing to cross, what your red flags are. You have to be very mindful of that, because if you want to say, I want to share my journey, you can't weasel out of it later. It becomes a real thing. So you have to be very about it. If you're going to do that, you got to be about it. You have to be comfortable on camera. You have to have realistic understanding of what your charisma is. You have to understand that if you're going to do that, people are going to become invested in your life, and they're going to look at you with a magnifying glass. So if that's not something you're comfortable with, then you have to be realistic about that. Alex Choi Money says, what do you think about cooking channels? Pretty evergreen, but also very competitive. They can do extremely well if the content has an interesting, unique angle. My friend Max the Meat Guy is going to hit 10 million subscribers at some point, mostly short form. So cooking channels, there's still a lot of ways to approach it. Cinematography, photography plays a role in that. Storytelling plays a role in that. The angle, there's all kinds of food too. There's different types of food, different types of cooking, different types of culture. There's multiple subgenres of within the cooking niche. There's a lot there. DMB says, any advice for senior creators 60 years old regarding niches that would have a big enough total addressable market? If you are successful and you've retired in your 60s or are on your way to retiring in your 60s, and you've got millions of dollars in the bank, you can teach young people about adulting, finance, managing your money. Huge total addressable market for lost people younger than you who have no clue about money, no clue about retirement accounts, no clue about investing, no clue about family planning, no clue about developing anything. There's a total addressable market of people who are lacking in a mother or father figure that actually has their ish together. That's a massive total addressable market for a senior, is to be essentially the parent that people didn't have at this point. And it wouldn't just be young people in their 20s. Frankly, you'd help a lot of people in their 30s and 40s get their ish together too. So there is a large total addressable market if you are successful for lived experience. And by successful, I mean you've appropriately saved for your retirement, you've raised a family, you're a homeowner, you had a good career track and path in life, you've had all those lived experiences. That would translate very well to a large total addressable market of people if you're in your 60s. A good example of this is Mark Tilbury. Yeah Speak says, I'm an American hairstylist working and living in Bermuda. Should I start talking and filming myself behind the chair with music? Over 50 fitness, speaking, music, travel, food are my passion. Those are too many passions. Those are too many passions to narrow it down to a reasonable market vertical. Music behind the chair, you're going to get copyrighted on YouTube, so you're not going to end up making any money. The music industry will take all the money. Over 50 fitness, if you're not a fitness instructor, I don't really see the point, because then you don't have a business to build it on the back of. consider lifestyle vlogs in Bermuda that incorporate food and travel and how much it costs to live in Bermuda compared to the US. So I would probably focus on how much it costs to live in Bermuda relative to the US. And I would probably make videos like that and about how much the groceries cost and about culture there and about, those things because they're unique. There's probably not a lot of people in the English speaking market that compete with you. It's interesting. People are already radicalized around the high cost of living in the US. There are a lot of people looking to become expats. I don't think that you need to, I don't think that a YouTube channel, unless you're absolutely dead set on expressing yourself and you don't care about money or you don't care about the business or you don't care about making it full time. If you just want to express yourself, make whatever you want. Just make it all, throw it on the channel if you don't care. But if you want to grow a channel and if you want to make money, you need to narrow the value proposition down to something reasonable and something that also is difficult for someone else to compete with. I think the uniqueness of it would be that you're in Bermuda and that people are always fascinated by how much cheaper things can be outside the US or things you don't get outside the or things they don't even get in the US. And like if there's a Costco in Bermuda, there's a ton of content you can make about what you get at Costco in Bermuda versus in the US. Oh yeah, people would love that. Oh, Bermuda is very expensive. Okay. Then even that and telling people how expensive Bermuda is compared to other places and incorporating a few luxury things into that, that could be really good. Hobby to CEO says, do you think having a channel on living with impaired hearing can be a good niche? As a resource channel, if you market it around utility and resources for other like-minded people, then yes. Tyler Miles says, can you give some advice for new and up and coming YouTubers? Yes. Watch the how to get started in 2020 video I made. It's on the channel. It's a very important video if you're a beginner. I'll see if I can link it in the chat for you, but it should be pretty much right there on the channel. But if you're a new and beginner content creator, the video that you really need is definitely this one. The thumbnail says 0 subs do this. So how to start a YouTube channel in 2024 with 0 subscribers. Why new YouTubers struggle. So if you're new to YouTube, this is the video. I just put it in the chat. This is the video if you're a new YouTuber that you need to watch. Natural Nate says, is geek culture too broad of a niche? Yes and no, but you need a shtick. You need a gimmick. You need a gimmick. You need a gimmick. What makes you a destination channel? You can do geek culture. There are ways to do geek culture in a way that other people can't. But are you going to do that? Are you going to be able to do that? Do you have something unique that you bring to the table? Why does someone watch you instead of Geeks and Gamers? Why does someone watch you instead of, who else is in geek culture? Why does someone watch you instead of the Blurred Without Fear? You know, why does someone watch you instead of, who else is in geek culture? Like, you see what I'm saying? It's like, you gotta, like, why does someone watch you instead of the Nerd Writer? You have to have a specific angle. Najee says, wine education as a niche. Is it too early to build the email marketing? Do I need a website in addition to capturing emails from the beginning, or can I do email list only? I would build a website and an email list, and I would still feel that it's never too early to do those things, if I'm being honest. So that one, that's where I would go with that. Dapper Dak says, I read your book, Create Something Awesome, and really found value in it. Do you have any other resources for knowledge-hungry creators who are looking to learn disciplines involved in industry? Yes, our free course. I'll link to that in the chat again. So I would say our free course is also a companion to the book. So I'm going to post that into the chat again. Get the free course here. I want to see more of you sign up for the free course. I want 1,000 of you in the free course before the end of the year. So sign up for the free course. I just put it in the chat. No excuses. Sign up for the free course. So that's the thing. In terms of other resources, the entire YouTube channel and also the podcast would definitely be resources. We also have free resources on awesomecreatoracademy.com as well. I would say following me on Twitter is definitely really helpful, especially since I answer questions there pretty much daily. We're about to do a whole overhaul of my Instagram that's going to be a ton of value because I'm going to start posting stats and infographics over there. So that's going to be really helpful. I would say also the newsletter linked in the description. Got a free newsletter. VC Mia says, hey, Roberto, I'm a self-taught designer. Congratulations. That sells digital invitations, making over $1,000 a month on Etsy. Nice. Love that. How would you grow a YouTube channel from 8 subscribers? If I was a designer, I would already plan out 100 videos. I already did this, by the way. I already did this before. I was a graphic designer on YouTube. I was doing freelancer and design content. I grew to 100,000 subscribers without YouTube help content. So I already did this. What I would do is you could do what I do, or you could do what my friend Stephen Looney did. Stephen Looney grew to a massive design channel. Same thing for Will Patterson, and same thing for Charlie Marie. The main thing I would do as a designer is I would probably do a lot of tutorial content around Photoshop specifically, but probably also around Illustrator. I would learn Illustrator if you haven't already, and probably InDesign. And I'd probably do those 3 pillars of Adobe, Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign. Probably also Canva. And I would show people how to make, and probably Adobe Express, because both Canva and Adobe Express are free. And I would show people how to make logos, how to make branding and identity packages. And I would probably do that. I'm a lunatic. So after I show people how to design logos, A through Z, and how to do branding packages, A through Z, and then show them making a print package for every brand, I probably am a lunatic. And then I'd probably go into After Effects and animate all of my bloody logos and make an animated version of all my bloody logos and teach that A through Z like a lunatic. And yeah, that'd probably be my shtick. My whole shtick would probably be I would design logos from scratch in Illustrator, probably try to recreate those same logos in Photoshop, then probably build print-on-demand packages in InDesign. Sorry, not print-on-demand, but branding and identity systems and packages for the brands, and do full brand builds in InDesign. Now, a cheat code for this is you could also probably do it reimagining the logos of famous brands. And then I'm a lunatic. I would probably then build a website, a mock-up website for every one of these brands. And again, if they're famous brands, it would be a design overhaul of every one of the existing websites. And then I'm a lunatic where I would make an animated version of the logo in After Effects for every website. And there you go. And that'd be my whole shtick. So I'm a lunatic. But it's probably a 100K to a million subscriber channel in doing that. So Rich Shane says, I want to make a channel about being a software engineer and doing web development. Is the medical coding channel you mentioned a good blueprint to my model? Yes. Contempo coding with Victoria is definitely a good model for that. She's someone I also coached one-on-one and helped her develop that channel. Again, very proud that she grew to 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. And I would say that I think that career development channels that are absolutely utility driven are very strong in an overall business model. They help accelerate your career. They also give you an exit for that career. They let you commodify your knowledge. There's a lot of benefit. Don't worry about the algorithm. Worry about audience psychology and proven demand. Worry about audience psychology and proven demand. None of you should be worrying about the algorithm. You should be worrying about audience psychology and human behavior and conditioning viewer behavior and viewer patterns, and also learning how to steal existing attention. None of you really, deep down, none of you care about the algorithm. Deep down, none of you care about the algorithm, and the algorithm would only make you depressed if I further explain it. Like, so what you should do if you want more views is, your problem with views probably starts with your packaging. Look at your content, then look at content that gets, and I'll show you how to do it now. Simple. Find videos, and the way you want to do this is actually a great plug for our sponsor. So we have a sponsor, 1 of 10, linked in the description. You should absolutely be using them. So make sure you're checking out our sponsor, 1of10.com, linked in the description. So, in fact, actually, yeah, we don't need me on screen. Who cares? So here's the thing you do is use filters like these. So let's say I want to understand my market better. So depending on what my market is, let's say I want to find channels that are over 10K, but just under 100,000, let's say, that have 100K to 1 million views in only the last 3 months in my niche. But I'm going to tweak the subscribers here to where it needs to be smaller channels. And it needs to be reasonable. And then let's say my niche is, it shouldn't be as broad as me just typing in anime, but we're going to do that anyway. So, because I don't know what your niche is, and it doesn't particularly matter in this case. But I'd be able to find things from channels that are not necessarily massive channels, but got 100K views in the last 90 days, which gives me a good baseline of understanding of how good my thumbnails need to be, what my topics could be, what people care about. This is actually really smart. Avatar: The Last Airbender, especially for those of you who want to do nerd culture, geek culture. Oh, Avatar: The Last Airbender's worst episode. In general, covering the worst episode of multiple beloved series. Huge opportunity. Huge opportunity. So that's what I would say actually would be very good for you with 1 of 10 is you can identify videos from channels that aren't any bigger than you that are getting outsized views. And then you know what topics people actually care about in the community. I mean, look at this. 200K views 2 months ago. 80K subscribers. And he's covering why Doflamingo from One Piece is the most evil anime character. So one, this is a high quality thumbnail. This thumbnail is a 5 out of 5. Communicates perfectly. Uses the vibes framework. It's visually attractive at a glance as a thumbnail. It's interesting at a glance immediately between his reaction, the way that he's dressed, communicates very well with being Doflamingo, bold color and contrast to the visuals and to the text. Eye-catching elements. He's got 3 of them. He's got pure evil with the blood splatter. He's got Doflamingo. He's got a good reaction face. So 1, 2, 3. 3 eye-catching elements. Doflamingo represents the social proof because One Piece is very popular. So boom, there you go. So that's it for anime right there. Similar thing will work for video games. UTX, the Dawn, if you are trying to do gaming controversy, you already know what content is going to do it. I don't know that you should be, it depends on what you want to do with it as far as the mixing of the hip hop news stuff. You can make your own decision about that. Here's my thought on it. My thought on it is I know exactly how I would lean into gaming controversy right now with a lot of these game developers and a lot of these games and what was going on with all this other stuff. Looks like we're in Gamergate 2.0. I would be making that content. Kevin Sullivan says, can I at least make 1K a month without shilling for a company or doing brand deals? I sell $15 music kits, but doesn't add up to too much. I don't really want to go to the coaching phone call route. Kevin, I think you need to really think about what you actually want, because I don't think you want to run a business, which is okay. Not everyone's meant to run a business. So you need to figure out what exactly it is you want, because here's the thing. You might need to do content creation as a hobby, which there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying this in any way, shape, or form to be mean or discouraging. I'm just being real with you. I don't think being a successful content creator would make you happy, because I don't think you want to do the things that typically content creators do to make money. You don't want to do brand deals because you think it's shilling or you think it's selling out. So you've lost one of the primary revenue streams that makes most people full-time creators right off the bat. You don't want to do coaching calls, which is fine, which means you also don't want to do info products, templates, course sales, that kind of thing. So that takes all of digital products aside from this $15 thing, which requires you do want to do $15 music kits. Why are you doing $15 music kits instead of $50 or $100 music kits? Probably because there's some guilt you feel about asking for a lot of money, which means you'd have to sell, if you were only selling $15 music kits, you need to sell what? 70, 80 of them to make $1,000 a month. So if 1% of people convert to sales, if you're lucky, that means you have to generate what? 70,000 hits of traffic to your landing page to make those sales. You're probably not going to want to do the things that takes driving 70,000 people to a landing page to convert 70 of them to being, yeah, it is 70, isn't it? Yeah. 70 of them to being sales. And then you'd have to do that every month. So like rounding up, you have to drive 50 to 100,000 hits to a landing page to sell a $15 product just to hit $1,000 a month. That's too much work for only $1,000 a month to sell a $15 product. That's too much work for that. So you're probably not going to be able to chill if you were going to do that. So that's not a good business model if all you're going to do is sell something for $15. If you sold something for $50, then to make $1,000, you only need to sell 20 of them a month. 20 sales a month is easier to come by. You can do a sale a day, one sale a day. But again, to do that one sale a day, you're going to need somewhere between 100 to 1,000 hits on your landing page a day to accomplish that. Are you going to want to do the work that it goes with that? Probably not, because it doesn't seem like you're the kind of person that wants to hustle. You say it yourself, you want to chill, or you want to do that. Like, you don't want to do the brand deals. You don't want to do coaching calls. You don't want to sell a higher ticket item. So I don't think there's a business model for you making comfortably $1,000 a month, because the only way you would do that you'd probably be happy with would be just getting views on YouTube, so you don't have to sell anything, or you don't have to take brand deals, or you don't have to run a business. And the thing is, do you want to do things that you're passionate about, or do you want to do things that the audience wants from you? You probably just want to do what you want to do and then want people to support it. So I think that content creation is going to be a hobby for you, or needs to be a hobby for you, because I don't know that you want to be a full-time creator or make it a business, because I think it's actually really difficult to make $1,000 a month if your heart isn't in making money. People who make $1,000 a month doing something outside of their 9-to-5 job usually are passionate about making money itself. And that doesn't seem like who you are, so I wouldn't worry about it. It's not for everybody. It's not meant for everybody. I don't think it would make you happy. I think that figuring out how to make $1,000 a month from content creation probably would make you hate content creation or make you miserable. And it may not be what you want to hear, especially for doing a $20 super chat, but it's probably what you need to hear deep down. And somebody needs to tell you. I'm not going to gas you up. I'm not going to cheerlead. I'm not going to tell you things that make me sound good. I'm going to tell you what I think is the truth. You already took out of like the 6 main ways, or like of all the ways you can make money as a content creator, the only ways you can really make money are sponsorships, memberships, services like coaching, physical merchandise, and then after that, it's digital products and ad revenue. Your digital product is too low to make $1,000 without a massive amount of traffic. And then if you were getting that kind of traffic, it would probably be okay with the ad revenue to not divert it, maybe, kind of. Because to get $1,000 a month on YouTube, if you're doing entertainment content, you have to do 500,000 views. You have to do 250,000 to 500,000 views as an entertainer to make it on ad revenue. A lot of times you can't do that with original content, and you can't do that with original music, and you can't do that with original art. So unless you're in a money-making style niche, which it doesn't seem like you are, because you don't want to do the coaching, you don't want to do brand deals, then that disqualifies that. So there's not a pathway to make this on Adsense. There's not a pathway to make it with services. There's not a pathway to make it with memberships. You don't want to do brand deals. That implies you don't want to do affiliate links either. So now we're down to, it's probably not going to work any better for merchandise than it would for, because now we're down to merchandise, physical products. which even if you do them, the margin being $15 would not work because you're not going to make $15 in margin. You're going to make like $6 in margin. So then we're down to digital products, these music kits. You want to sell 70 of them. You'd have to get like 7,000 to 70,000 hits a day to sell them to make enough money, because you'd have to be selling, to make 1,000, you'd have to sell 3 of them a day. I don't know how that's going to work from a traffic and conversion standpoint. And you'd have to do that every day. So I don't know a path for you to make $1,000 a month. I don't know a path for you to make $1,000 a month because you've taken every logistical possibility off the table. And it's fine if that's just your personality or what makes you comfortable. It just means that there's not a viable, logical, reasonable path that I can see to you making $1,000 a month. And I have to be honest with you about that because I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and lie to your face. You don't mind doing a digital course. Well, see, here's the thing, though. Is there a successful person in your market doing courses? And you say you don't mind doing it, but the thing is it something you think you'd be good at? Is it something you think the audience is in demand for? Have you studied the marketing of someone doing it successfully? And can you name 5 people successfully selling a course that you could sell and make a better course than? Because the thing is, I know I can make a better course on content creation on YouTube than most of what's in the market. Why? Because most of the people in the market haven't made their course since the pandemic started. And by now, a lot of them haven't updated their course since the pandemic started. So everyone's material is out of date. YouTube Shorts isn't even in most of the 80% of all YouTube courses have no material on YouTube Shorts. 90% of them have no material on vertical live streaming now. And 0% of them have any material on the new features YouTube announced last week at YouTube Made, where I attended. So I know in my market how to make a course that competes with the existing courses and does them better. I'm mostly going to be a beneficiary of timing because all their stuff will be outdated. There go in your market. If you were going to go the course route, 1, what's your price point? 2, is the market viable? 3, who are 5 people that did it successfully? And 4, how would you become number 6 and be different and better? That is what you would have to determine. And then what's your business plan and how are you driving traffic and what's the marketing plan? Is there an ad budget? Are you even deep down a course seller and an instructor in that regard? Because you can't just say, oh, I'll sell a course if that's what you're saying, Roberto. Because that's not, don't tell me what I might want, you think I want to hear. You have to be someone who is actually enthusiastic, committed, and happy about making a good quality course. You can't make one just because you think it'll make $1,000 a month. You'd actually have to be someone who likes the idea of teaching and making a course and is excited about it. Do you know what makes me good about making a course? 1, I love doing long form content. Number 1. Number 2, I like doing loosely edited content instead of over edited content. That's helpful. I like to talk a lot, clearly. Number 3, I like to break things down in granular, excruciating detail, and I love to lecture people. So part of my personality, it's part of my charm, right? You love it or you hate it. I love design. I love branding. As you can tell, I love making slides and presentations, and I'm good at it. I love public speaking, and I love combing through comments, finding nuggets from people, and then saying, oh, gee, that gives me a good idea. So the thing is, I genuinely am very in love with all the aspects of making courses, from the idea of writing outlines. I wrote a whole book. So like writing an outline, if you can write a book, you can make a course, and vice versa. So I like writing outlines. I like summarizing things. I like lecture. I like breaking things down. I like making longer videos. I like loosely edited stuff. And I like responding to feedback, questions, and comments on a regular basis. If you don't have those qualities, then it's very hard to make a quality course that's actually worth buying and that would serve the people. And it's hard to make good marketing material that would serve the people, good landing pages, good email automation, and those things if you don't have a genuine appetite and taste for it. So the thing is, you have to really not just be passionate about the subject matter, but about the mechanism of delivering it in that way. So Kevin says, my market is music production gear market. They mostly do brand deals, but instead of pay the companies, they just give them the gear for free. In my space, they usually sell music kits for $20 to $50. Okay. So the thing is, one, I wouldn't be trying to be low price leader as far as music kits. I would sell my music kits at a premium. I would sell them at $60, and I would make the claim that I believe that they're the best. And then my branding and marketing would package in such a way to where they seem to be a premium and they seem to do best. So I'd probably price at a premium. I'd outprice my competitors. Instead of being low price leader, I'd be high price leader. Then I also have to sell less to make my money, of whatever money I want to make. So if I sell at 60, then I only have to sell 18 of these a month to make $1,000. So that's one thing when it comes to that. When it comes to music production, I think you could probably make a great course. If you really want to make a great course, you could probably make one for $199 that is reasonable to a good portion of the market. At $199 to make $1,000 a month, you only need to make 5 sales a month, basically 1 sale a week to make the money that you would want to make. So that's practical. The music production niche people don't want to do paid brand deals and only give gear. Cool. Get them to give you the gear. Negotiate an affiliate commission that's better than the Amazon affiliate commission. Also, consider using the YouTube tag products feature and get paid commissions on it. If you can get a decent commission on the music production gear, since the physical hardware is relatively expensive compared to most things, then you can make decent money for every sale that you actually get, and you get paid for commissions, get paid for results, basically. And so the affiliate marketing angle would make sense. Making a section of the course that recommends gear and using the affiliate links would also be beneficial, and double dips there. Then on top of that, if you also have something that's a gear recommendation or a gear guide that you give with your music kits, and all of it has affiliate links, you also get those people who are already qualified leads. If they ever buy your gear links, then you get a commission on performance. So the thing is, you can review these things and you get them for free from the company. If you review it and you do it in the Amazon Influencer Hub and people buy it there, you also get a commission based on that without even making YouTube videos. You just upload those to Amazon. So those would be things you could do, and that would be a pathway to making $1,000 a month. That's the route that I would go in that situation. All right, we're going to start wrapping it up here. Scale Train Station says, Roberto, what do you think you do with a mailing list? I know you talk about it. A lot of concept of mailing lists is read in the last century. You give your email, you get endless spam. No, all you have to do is actually give quality content just like you would on YouTube, but make it written information. It just comes down to being a good writer. Sign up for my newsletter. You're not getting hit with endless spam. Sign up for my newsletter. You're going to learn how to be a better monetized content creator. If you sign up for my newsletter, you're going to be closer to being a full-time content creator than if you don't. You sign up for my newsletter, you're getting about what you get when you buy my book. Because I'm an actual writer. because I wrote for publications before I ever even made money on YouTube. I was writing for publications like Creative Pro, Print Magazine, Blue Line, How Design, Hustle Magazine, Smart Hustle Magazine. So I was writing for publications before most of you were ever watching me, and I was getting paid to write. So the thing is, when it comes to email list, it's like, you're worried about spam? You're going to get spam for everything that you bought. The bank has your emails, and yeah, you're going to get spam, and you're going to get spam. If someone's already creating value for you as a content creator, it's a high probability that giving them your email list, you're going to get the same quality of content in a different format, in a different way. And those of you who follow me on Twitter, you already know what you're going to get in your email from me, because you already have seen and consumed my writing. If you read my book, you've already consumed my writing. So there you have it. What's the concept of an email list? The concept of an email list is it's just another way to deliver value. If you're a writer, then, which by the way, if you're going to be a YouTuber, become a good writer, because you have to write scripts. You have to write headlines. You have to write titles. So there's not a really good reason to say that you wouldn't be able to write good quality emails for your community, because it's just another way of communicating to them. If you use Twitter, there's no reason you shouldn't be able to communicate to them well in writing, in a newsletter. You have to write headlines and descriptions and scripts. There's no reason and excuse you shouldn't be able to communicate something in written word. So you tell me. What do you do in an email list? You tell me. What you do is you write something to your community. As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't even have to be that much of a marketing thing. You can write a love letter every week to your community. So I don't know. You tell me. Saxophonist Corner says, YouTube just removed a third of my views from the last video and cut my click rate in half. Is this a glitch in my channel being throttled? Should I start a new channel? This just happened. I don't have enough information to know, Saxophonist, but Doug Houston is a moderator and also another YouTube educator. He stays on top of certain issues like this probably more than I do. So I would hit up Doug and see if you guys can get to the bottom of what's going on. Scale Train Station says, so if you do tutorials, for instance, you give maybe more detailed stuff or added stuff in the list. So if you were doing tutorials, one, you could definitely have a roundup of your tutorials in the list, but two, you could go into some depth or some things that you think people don't know that get left out that might require some more thought, or you could do commentary on the industry that the tutorials belong to. So for example, if you're someone who did Photoshop tutorials, you could talk in your newsletter about some topics that would matter to the community, like the rise of AI art and the ethics around that, for example, and they'd probably be very curious about that. So the thing is, you just simply talk to your audience about things that they already care about and are passionate about, and you have to know something about them beyond the fact that they watch your content. You'd have to think about what else they value, and you'd want to speak to them and meet them where they are. Najee says, could you mix tutorials, education content, transparent real life content, or is that too wide of a net? It's all about the execution, but the thing is, you probably 99% of you are not sophisticated enough to mix all of that in a reliable way. Money Life Business says, would this niche be too much for too much tech help for YouTubers, showing them how to use OBS, landing pages, email lists, local LLM, chat GPT to optimize their content? That's more of you build courses on those individual things than try to stuff all of that into a channel. So, someone like Chris Do can pull off being broad like that, but even with the future, the views are inconsistent. Just like with my channel, if you go too broad like that, you need to think about a consolidated value proposition and then build content pillars based on a single promise you can deliver on. All right, we're probably going to wrap up here. Just Toronado says I've been solely live streaming 5 days a week since April. My streams don't get many views afterward. Should I focus on recorded content or split the streams into shorter clips? I'm 796 away from 30K. I think that you need to package the live streams differently. You probably need to build them with replay value in mind. You probably need to add timestamps to them and be very thoughtful about the way that timestamps are. And I would focus on that. I don't think on the same channel, putting them into shorter clips. And I think having a balance of recorded content is ideal in general. So that would be my thought. Yeah. I think that's probably going to do it for questions here. Thank you to the chat. Yep. But yeah, I think that's going to be it here for the live stream and questions. Thanks again to all the mods. Appreciate all of you. Thank you for all of the great questions and comments. And of course, thank you to our sponsors. We've got oneof10.com in the house. Make sure you're checking that out in the description. Also, check out our friends at Opus Clip for repurposing your content across your platforms, and Kajabi for taking your monetization off platform with membership websites, coaching, courses, cohorts, and communities. Anyway, that's it for everybody. We're going to close out the stream now, and I think we're going to close it out with my book trailer. So if you haven't already, make sure you're checking out my book, Create Something Awesome. You can buy it on Amazon and everywhere else that books are sold. And other than that, we will catch you later this week. We probably have a stream on Friday, and we're probably going to do a channel review stream for the end of the month. Thanks to our friends from One of 10 for that. We are going to do a channel review stream and roast the hell out of some of your channels gently. Those are going to be based on super chats, and they'll probably be Saturday, probably right after Nick Niman's Saturday stream. So other than that, stay awesome. I'll catch you next time. I finally did it. I finished my book, Create Something Awesome, How Content Creators Are Profiting from Their Passion in the Creator Economy. The book is available now in paperback and in Kindle, where you can read it on any e-reader or device. And I'm really excited about this. The audiobook is coming soon, probably October 2022. Oh my God, it's so great to be able to have this book done, put it up on the bookshelf, and to know that all of you who appreciate it, you want to hear what I have to say about the creator economy, becoming a full-time content creator, and what the experience and lifestyle of being a content creator actually is like. This is the book. I put 20 chapters in here of the most important things I think that content creators could be focusing on today. I talk about the mental health aspect of being a content creator, getting discouraged, imposter syndrome, not charging what you're worth, and mostly actionable advice around monetizing your content properly, but also how to build an audience on your authenticity and what it's really like to start from zero, even today. So if you're interested, make sure you're checking out the book. You can order it on Amazon. You also probably order it in a lot of other places like Barnes & Noble, and it will be coming to other bookstores soon. Really excited about it. Thank you for all the support and love around the book and the positive reviews. Now go ahead and pick it up and make sure you go out there and create something awesome today. Take care.